Jimmy Barry Murphy. That's coming up in a few minutes' time. And then we have the Kilkenny manager, Brian Cody. We'll be talking to both of them, getting their views on games past and, of course, as well as today's match. The Entertain Boys Band then will entertain us at 1 o'clock. And the minor teams due out onto the field about 1:15, maybe a little bit before that. Minor final, as I said, at 1:30, and then after that minor final. And to get us in the mood for the senior game, we have an exhibition of set dancing. That's at about 10 to 3. Then we have the Kilkenny Jubilee team at 3 o'clock. This, of course, is the Kilkenny team that won the All-Ireland back in 1974, 25 years ago. And then the senior teams due out onto the field about 3:10, all in readiness for that senior final at 3:30. Well, it's been an interesting and entertaining hurling championship of high quality so far, but I suppose one thing that has been missing is some of the drama and the tension and the controversy of last year's hurling championship. During that, of course, we had all kinds of things happening, all kinds of bizarre things happening during the year. But here are the statistics for this year's final as they go into it. Cork and Kilkenny, between them you can see there, they have won almost half of the All-Irelands that have been on offer since the Gaelic Athletic Association was founded. The particular statistic is there have been 21 meetings between the two sides. Kilkenny slightly shady, they've won 11 of them. Cork have won 8 and 2 of those have been drawn. What are the odds on a draw today? It hasn't happened in something like back in the 40s. Let's hope today does give us a full result. Well, as I said, last year's championship was full of all kinds of drama and controversy. Not so much this year. But, well, at the end of all that last year, it was a team that, well, the sheep in a heap turned out to win the All-Ireland final. One of those sheep of the day was Michael Dignan. I'm delighted to say he's on the panel with us this afternoon, and so too, of course, is Cyril Farrell. Michael, a very different setting, obviously, for you today than it was 12 months ago, but I'm sure you're looking forward to this occasion.
Yeah, I suppose it's a lot calmer today. When you're not taking part, you can sit back and relax and enjoy the game. Looking forward to the game. I think it's been a great championship. Kilkenny have been in top form all year, and Cork have come out, I suppose, having been down for a few years. It's nice to see them back in Croke Park in the Ireland final, and it should be a great game.
Because of the fact that it's Cork and Kilkenny, and they haven't met for quite a little while, Cyril, the atmosphere and the build-up to this game has been extraordinary. And I mean, there have been some extraordinary All-Irelands through the 90s already, involving Offaly there, and Michael beside us, involving Wexford, involving Clare, of course. But this one is something special.
Yeah, well, Cork have been out for a while, and by God, are they making this? Are they appreciating this one? The build-up is unreal. The atmosphere around town is electric. The tickets are like gold, you just can't get them. And even out, I walked the pitch there, it's beautiful, it's well cut, a bit soft, but that's because of the rain. It's going to suit, you know, it won't make advantage to either team, but like both sets, Kilkenny have been here last year, they won't want to lose another one. But Cork are coming with a very young team, and they feel they're on a roll. You'd know that they haven't been here for a while, because like they're really appreciating it, and they're getting into the atmosphere of things. It's more than a game now, of course. Like the occasions got very, very big, and as Michael said, it's probably easier being up here, but like yes, every player would love to be down there today.
Well, the occasion has certainly become very big in the last couple of years. I came into the ground a little over an hour ago. Already the crowds, and quite a sizable crowd, outside the main gates here at the Hogan stand. A few years ago, people would kind of wander in maybe at half-time of the minor match and get ready for the big game. It is not like that anymore. 1992, the last meeting between these two sides. Let's remind ourselves of exactly how that All-Ireland final went.
This is DJ Carey at a significant stage of the match, coming up to hit the penalty. Before half-time. Then towards Big Christie, being marked in there by Dennis Mulcahy. John Parr foraging. John Parr breaking through. And John Parr scoring. Fumbled in there by Pat Buckley. And it's the other number 8, Phelan, who takes it inside towards Liam McCarthy. And it's gone in. A goal by Liam McCarthy. It could be the most significant score in the match. Into the centre it goes, towards DJ Carey, met by Todd Hart, and whipped back in again. Two Kilkenny men go to the one ball, down towards Ger Manley. Manley raiding, Cook needing a goal, they get it! Manley, the goal scorer. A mistake by two of the Kilkenny backs going for the same ball. Kilkenny, the champions of 1992.
Yes, Pat O'Neill, DJ, John Power, players like that helped to fashion that victory in 1992. Can they help to inspire today as well? That remains to be seen. Commentator, of course, in the big match later on will be Gerard Canning. Our commentator on the minor final will be Micheál O'Shea. Let's go down pitch side now and get the views of both of those gentlemen.
Thank you, Michael, and a very good afternoon to one and all. We're down here by the canal end. Micheál O'Shea and myself. Micheál was commentating on the minor match, of course, between Tipperary and Galway. The wind is beginning to whip up a little bit, Micheál.
It is blowing out from the Hogan stand. It will be a slight factor, I think, but looking at the pitch, it looks magnificent, really, and it's a great credit to Paddy Walsh and his staff. They've cut it on 21 occasions, I think, since last Monday, the most recent one at 7 o'clock this morning. To look out at it's like Macadamia and the moon, really, and you know, it should make for a cracking game.
I don't suppose I've cut my back garden 21 times this year alone, just in 1 week.
Just in 1 week, but you had a lot of rain this week, and you have a lot of growth, and I mean, it's marvellous to have the aristocrats back, Kilkenny and Cork, and to think at 5 o'clock this evening, unless the game ends in a draw, they'll have 53 All-Irelands between them.
Now, before all of that, as I mentioned, the minor final takes place, and we've seen some cracking action this year, hurling and football at minor level.
At minor level, some brilliant stuff, really, and you know, we should have another cracking game there between Galway and Tipperary. It's very hard to call. It's impossible to call because, you know, anything can happen in an All-Ireland final.
Micheál, Gormila Mahagad.
We'll be hearing from Micheál O'Shea in about a half an hour's time in the build-up to that minor match, but of course for one of the Cork mentors, for Jimmy Barry Murphy, the manager, today is such a big day, such a star, of course, for Cork in his playing days, both as a hurler and, of course, as a footballer, as Galway people will remember, in 1973. Marty Morrissey has been talking to him this morning and hearing his views on how he feels today as he goes into the match, but Marty also met him during the week to get the views of one great Jimmy Barry Murphy.
Inside there, Offaly players get it. Mulher has a shot, it's blocked. Comes back down against O'Shea Halpine. Coming out next, John Brown. It's Wayne Sherlock, in fact, and Sherlock gets the ball out. The whistle goes. It's all over, and Cork are through to the All-Ireland final.
Jimmy, it's been a great year so far for Cork, hurling and football. Has it surprised you at all, the strides which your team has made this year?
Well, I suppose you're always hoping, and when the draw was made, certainly it was favourable in the respect that if we won one game, the Waterford game, we were into the playoff series automatically. So there was a huge incentive because of that. But I suppose a win brings confidence to the team, and certainly we have made great strides since that win over Waterford.
I've never seen you jump for joy like you jumped after you beat Waterford. You went out on the pitch and you were exultant, and I never saw you like that before. It was like as if the monkey had been taken off the back in a way.
Well, yeah, that's the point. I mean, I've been 4 years in charge of the Cork team, and we hadn't qualified for the Munster final in that time. Cork hadn't qualified for the Munster final since 1992.
Is that unacceptable, by the way, for most of the fans out there in Cork?
Well, I wouldn't say unacceptable. There's nothing you can do about it if you're not good enough, and that's been simply the bottom line for Cork in the past number of years. And we've been working very, very hard with the underage talent here in Cork to try and bring them through from minor and under 21, and a lot of hard work has gone into those teams. So I suppose I felt a huge sense of relief, and you know, at least we reached a major milestone in qualifying for a Munster final, and it just showed how hard the road had become to qualify for a Munster final, and we were so thrilled about it.
What about Kilkenny, your opponents on Sunday? How do you view them?
Well, Kilkenny, I mean, they're formidable opponents in any final. Their record this season is very, very good in that they played well in the league, and they've done very well in the championship. That their goal scoring in particular has been a huge factor in all their games, and I suppose that is something we are concerned about. But you know, our backs have done very well all the year, and we're confident that they can keep a close check on them, and that is our major target going into the game, is that our backs play as well as they've done all the year.
Of course, you have perhaps very mixed memories about playing Kilkenny. 82, 83, for instance, you were captain in both years.
Yeah, but in fairness, I mean, it's not something I'm concerned about at all. Now, it's long in the past, and I don't think it has any relevance to Sunday. I suppose the relevant factor is that Kilkenny have a very good record against Cork in finals, and that's something that we're aware of, and we hope to rectify, but I don't think anything that's happened in the 80s has any real relevance to what's going to happen in the All-Ireland final.
Okay, so it's not psychologically important for the players because they were too young at that particular time, but you were there, and a lot of the selectors were there, and the fans remember it, and they all think in terms of, oh, that's Kilkenny, and they're very difficult to beat in finals because they've been very difficult for Cork to beat down the years.
Absolutely, and you know, we have the height of respect for Kilkenny. They're a huge county in hurling terms. They have a great self-belief in themselves, you know, but we have a proud record here in Cork as well. We're going up there thinking that we can win the All-Ireland, certainly. You know, we've great respect for Kilkenny hurling and the people involved there, but we're proud of our own county as well, and we think we have a great chance.
Okay, just looking ahead to this huge final now, it's a huge final for both teams. You're up against a man in the opposite corner whom you're used to playing against in your playing days, Brian Cody. You must obviously appreciate what he has done with his team so far.
Well, I have a lot of respect for Brian in many ways. Our careers have coincided in so many respects over the years. We played minor and under 21 against each other and went on to captain our counties. Brian was lucky enough to captain the team, I wasn't. But he's a very, very decent guy. He's a fantastic fella off the field, and on the field he's a sportsman. They'll play very hard to win, and so will Cork, and may the best team win. That's all we can say at this stage, but I have a huge amount of respect for him as an individual.
Well, to get into the final, you had to beat Offaly, and of course they used the backdoor system in the world. They were hoping to use it for the second year in a row successfully. Didn't quite happen, but that was a very tight match. You were down 16-14. You got the last 5 points.
Yeah, I think in fairness, I'm not sure whether people in Cork really appreciate how good Offaly were before the game, but if they didn't, they certainly did after it, and we were very, very nervous going into that game because, you know, Offaly at times can play some fantastic hurling, and
Brian Whelan,
they have some outstanding individuals. Brian Whelan in particular has been one of the best hurlers of the last 10 years, without question, and we were very concerned about, you know, playing Offaly in Croke Park. After all, it was most of our players' first occasion even in Croke Park. So, you know, it was a major concern. I think Offaly certainly proved that day what an outstanding hurling county they have become, and it took a massive effort from our players to come through on the day. As you said, luckily finished very strongly.
Everybody's looking forward to a really skillful game of hurling. There's no malice involved here. The two teams don't carry baggage into this final. We know them as two great traditional hurling powers. And in a year where football has been pretty poor and pretty dull, hurling has electrified people.
Well, I don't think it will be a very good hurling final, I hope, but it'll be a very tough physical contest as well, I'm sure, because, you know, there are players on both sides who are well able to look after themselves, and there won't be any quarter asked or given, but you can never tell how any particular game will go, but certainly I'm sure it'll be a tough, ferocious counter.
Well, of course, the match has all of Cork excited. But this morning, Jimmy Barry Murphy himself seemed very relaxed as the Leaside contingent gathered here in the foyer of the Burlington Hotel. Selector Sean O'Leary brought us up to date on all the news.
Everybody's in great form this morning, and everybody had a restful night, so things seem to be in good shape now.
You came to Dublin last night?
Yeah, we arrived last evening about 5:30, and we went to a show then around 8 o'clock, and we were back here again for tea at about 11, and I think everybody was tucked away nice and quietly about 11:30.
And you're going to have a puck about this morning, I presume?
Yeah, we will about 1 o'clock approximately, and our intention then is to be in Croke Park about 2:25 and we'll have everything ready at that point, and we have a schedule made out, and we're going to stick to it rigidly for the day now.
Yes, I was down in the Burlington Hotel yesterday evening as the Cork team were heading out to watch Judo on the Paycock, and I'm sure they enjoyed it. Cyril Farrell, your views of Jimmy Barry Murphy as a manager?
Yeah, well, Jimmy Barry Murphy is a gentleman on and off the field. Like, we played against him a lot, you know, in the Galway teams, and he was a great goal poacher, both hurling and football. He could often be very quiet, but one perfect touch, skill of the wrist, ball in the back of the net. And like, it goes to show both himself and Brian Cody, like, that nice fellas can win, because these are guys are purists in hurling, love the skill of hurling. Okay, to be very competitive, but like, sportsman supreme, and like, you know, you can't look for better guys than these two.
Michael, Jimmy Barry has done so much obviously with the Cork team since he became the manager a few years ago, but this is the big test today. This is the big one they want.
Yeah, it's a huge test for Jimmy Barry. I suppose when he came in 4 years ago into Cork, they expect him to win All-Ireland straight away, and I think Jimmy Barry probably got as big a surprise as anybody. Yeah. But it's hard to do, and hurling is very competitive at the moment. But Jimmy Barry is a great motivator. As a young fella myself growing up, I think he was one of the people that we really looked up to, both for his ability and especially for his sportsmanship. He was always very fair, and he stood out from everybody of that era. So yeah, I'd like to see him doing well.
Okay, well, as Cyril Farrell mentioned there, I suppose one interesting thing is that Jimmy Barry Murphy and Brian Cody, both determined managers obviously, but both very courteous individuals as well. I met Brian Cody during the week, and I spoke to him about this big upcoming match. The peaceful grounds indeed of Kilkenny Castle provided Brian with a pleasant backdrop as he reflected on the big game. Of course, Brian is no stranger to All-Ireland finals. This is his first as manager, but he has played in 5 altogether, winning 3 of those. His favourite memory, leading his side to victory in '82.
When we played, obviously it was great. Obviously All-Ireland final days were special. And I suppose if you had to pick one, I captained the team in '82 to win the final, so that I suppose would be the highlight.
A dangerous ball. Dare Fennelly. A goal by Dare Fennelly. The icing in the Kilkenny cake.
Well, this year's final is the Kilkenny versus Cork affair, and of course down through the years in your own playing day, these were big matches.
every final is special, whether it be Clare, Offaly, Limerick, Wexford, it doesn't matter anymore. But we're delighted to be playing Cork in the All-Ireland final. Obviously Cork are delighted. I mean, they have gone through the same thing as Kilkenny. It's been a while since they played in an All-Ireland final as well. So it's great to be playing Cork. We have always had terrific games with them, and certainly we're looking forward to it.
There is, of course, pressure on every inter-county manager, but here in Kilkenny, and especially in the last couple of years, and there have been so many changes, did you have to think very hard about it before you took this job?
I didn't really. It's not something I thought I would ever doing. Kevin Finlay had a job. He was in possession. He was 1 year finished. He had got the team to the All-Ireland final, which was a big achievement. And, you know, it hadn't even crossed my mind that the job would be available. Suddenly the job became available. And I just thought about it for a while and realised, you know, something that was a great challenge. The talk around at the time was that nobody wanted the job, and there were a lot of, I suppose, people who would have been considered strong contenders who said, you know, that they weren't interested in it. I realised, having thought about it, that I would regret not trying it if I didn't try it, you know. So I just let my name go forward, and that's the way it developed.
In terms of your own personal management style, what have you tried to bring to this Kilkenny setup?
Well, I suppose I was aware coming into the job I was going to be dealing with talented players. I firmly believe we have a good bit of talent in the county, and even though there may have been a bit of pessimism around at the start of the year, having lost the All-Ireland final, I have been actively involved in the club scene for quite a while in Kilkenny and realised the depth of talent that is there. And my real ambition at the start of the year was to get a team on the field, or a panel of players together, who would have great spirit, and they would be going out every day to ensure that they were going to play it totally determined and give everything they had, and to, you know, at least give themselves a chance of winning every match. That, you know, talented players playing without spirit would not be good for nobody. You know, and that was my real... I wasn't going to improve on the players very much. I don't think anybody is. The talent is there. Once we get them playing together as a team, playing decent hurling, playing committed hurling, and, you know, I'm happy enough that we're doing that.
Overall, looking at this present team, compared to teams past, say you look at a team 20 years ago, I mean, on paper they still frighten people. How do you rate this present team?
Well, this present team has been going well this year. This present team will be judged later on, obviously, on what they achieve. Because at the end of the day, you're judged on your results, you know, and you're comparing, going back with teams over the last 20 years. You still have to say, what did they win at the end of the day? That is the proof of the pudding. You know, they may threaten to be great, they may threaten all sorts of things, but you must deliver on the big occasions. And so we're waiting to see still. Kilkenny were in the All-Ireland final last year, didn't win it, obviously. So, you know, I mean, 12 months later we're in the All-Ireland final again. And we have to wait and see. But the team, to be judged in a very positive light, needs to produce results.
Brian, you know what it feels like to walk into Croke Park as a player on All-Ireland final day. Are you looking forward to this experience now as a manager?
I am indeed, Michael. Yeah, it's a terrific occasion. I suppose hurling at the top level is all about the big days in Croke Park, and there is nothing to compare with that feeling that you get when you're in there. As a player, certainly, it's something you always want to feel and to have. And obviously we can no longer have it as a player. So certainly, you know, I've had a few big days there this year, Leinster final, All-Ireland semi-final days. There were huge days, big, almost a sellout crowd the last day. And I loved it, I enjoyed every minute of it. It was tense, it was serious stuff. But I mean, that's why, I mean, if I wasn't wanting that kind of thing, I wouldn't have gone for this job, and I do want it.
Brian Cody's confidence in his team is shared here in Kilkenny this morning as supporters prepare to travel to Croke Park. Almost 2,000 fans will be going there by train alongside the team today, and all of them looking forward to victory. You're going to win, I suppose, are you?
Yes, we're going to win by about 5 points. We're going to bring home the silverware.
What do you think yourself?
3 points. Pretty confident, 3 points.
Who's going to win the match?
Kilkenny.
Why?
Because they're brilliant.
And they're back to win. So that's where we're going.
Simply the best. That's all there is.
The cat's in the hat.
The atmosphere is just, it's like a big festival.
The Cork are a good team, they're a young team, but I'd say they'll have a fair chance. Barely now, it'll be a good match.
DJ Carey and his colleagues set out at 20 minutes past 10 for a leisurely train journey to Croke Park. So how will that help Kilkenny's cause?
I would like to think there's been an advantage for us, the fact that the guys are used to their own bed. Like, it's probably, like any time I've went away, I always found it hard to sleep in a strange bed, like.
So, no disrespect to Cork, I hope didn't sleep too well. And even worse tonight, Joe. And worse tonight. You've been down this road before. I mean, you know the story. It's a big challenge for players, isn't it?
I remember in 82 saying to me, I'm rookie, I was in the same position going up as a player, and I said to him, I can't wait to get at him as a player, like. So I'm looking forward to today again. I hope it's a good game, like, and may the best team win.
Yeah, Ger Henderson, one of the great defenders, of course, for Kilkenny down through the years. Brian, or Cyril, I should say, it's such a measure of the expectation in Kilkenny that Brian Cody this year is expected to do things right, where in fact the guys who went before him didn't do a whole lot wrong.
Well, they weren't too far off last year, and you see Brian is only 1 year in the job, and if he wins he's the messiah. If he doesn't, it's the very same as last year. Jim Barry Murphy is 4 years in the job, and like, believe it or not, the Cork board had trouble enough. Jimmy Barry was saying 3 years is nearly enough, you know what I mean, like he'd gone through a lot. Now this is his big year as well. In a sense, he has put more in an apprenticeship than Brian has, but like, it's sad in a sense, because like, the sport is about taking part, but at this level the winner takes all, and like, someone is going to lose, someone's going to win, and you're going to have about, both of them, Brian or Jimmy, will have about 20,000 experts tonight or this evening telling them what to do, which can be hard enough for them as well. But they've gone through it as players. Now this is their first time really as managers, and you know, it's a difference. You can't go out and dictate the game as a manager, so that you can help a certain bit, but as Brian was saying there, you have to create the atmosphere, get the spirit going, get the best players on the team, and really on the day, inside the white line, the players have to deliver.
Michael Duignan, other counties in Leinster, of course, know first-hand this year just exactly what Brian Cody has up to bring to Kilkenny.
Yeah, I think he seems to have instilled a bit of freshness into them. I know he has the same players as last year, but I suppose the one big thing he's done is brought back John Power, and for some reason John Power wasn't part of the team last year, but John Power has proven this year that you know, in full flow there's no better centre forward in the game, and he brings a dimension to the Kilkenny game that they need by making room for the other forwards. And you know, I think Brian Cody has brought him back. The team and players seem to be a bit happier in themselves. You know, there was rumours about friction and things last year, but there's none of that this year, and Brian Cody seems to have done a great job with them.
Okay, gentlemen, well, of course, Cork and Kilkenny are here for the first time in a final together, as we said, since 1992, but a team that are always here on All-Ireland final day, of course, are the Artane Boys Band, and it wouldn't be right that we'd have an occasion like this without letting them entertain us for a few minutes at least. There they are down on the pitch under our musical director, Ronan O'Reilly. So let's hear indeed from the Artane Boys Band as they strike up the band. Yes, a little bit of George Gershwin to get us in the mood from the Artane Boys Band here at Croke Park this afternoon. Strike Up the Band, of course, that was. Now, something a little closer to home. It's Michelle and Tierna. It's Misha on Tierna there, the rendition from the Artane Boys Band. Now, this transmission today, of course, being watched not only all over Ireland, but in far-flung fields as well. So the band will now say to everybody watching us, a big Céad Míle Fáilte. And indeed, we do say, Kate, be a fortune to you wherever you're watching our transmission here on All-Ireland Big Day. Now, we saw earlier on Ger Henderson, DJ and all the rest of the boys leaving for Dublin, and here they are arriving. This is the Kilkenny team a little while ago, just as they arrived and departed from Houston Station and making the journey across town to Croke Park. There'll be a stop on the way, of course, for a little light refreshment before their big test with Cork this afternoon. Okay, then, on that note, we're going to take a commercial break because we're expecting the minor teams out here very shortly. So join us again in just a few minutes.
I see.
The reinvention of hair colour.
For me, it's the end of black color. I see myself in Feria by L'Oreal.
New Feria is a brand new kind of colorant with L'Oreal's new colour technology for vibrant shimmering colour week after week.
That's pure color.
New colour technology with rich conditioners, pure colour, intense highlights.
And it won't wreck or ravage my hair. I see vibrant shimmering color. I see myself in Feria by L'Oreal. And I'm worth it.
Every banana wants to be a chiquita banana. But I only pick the best. For 100 years. Chiquita, naturally.
Hi, Pauline. How are the kids? They're always peckish. Why don't you try something different? When you're peckish, you probably pick up a person.
When you've got a headache, every second hurts. Because it's soluble, Disprin Extra Strength gets into the bloodstream in only 5 minutes. Disprin Extra Strength can start to work in only 5 minutes.
You don't want to be sitting here on January 1st.
You don't want to be sitting here on January 1st.
Or here.
Or here! You don't want to be sitting here on January 1st?
You want to be one of the 100 lucky people who'll be sitting here on January 1st, taking part in the £1 Million Millennium TV game show, Winning Streak. It's better than ever.
You don't want to be sitting here anytime.
Play Winning Streak, and you could be sitting on a fortune.
Wake up to the thrill of Mach 3, the first triple blade razor from Gillette. 3 blades positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Welcome back again to Croke Park. So the scene is set then for the minor final coming up in a little over 15 minutes' time. But the team's actually due out onto the field here in the next couple of minutes while we're waiting for them. Let me talk to the panel. Of course, I've got Cyril Farrell and Michael Dignan, Offaly Star, here with me this afternoon. Cyril, let's look through this Galway team. Are they good enough to win this All-Ireland?
Well, starting off at the beginning of the year, Michael, in Galway circles, this team wouldn't be rated as a kind of a team that were going to go places. But John Hardiman and his selectors got together and they worked very hard and they brought them this far. Now, whether they're good enough or not to win All-Ireland is another thing, because they are up against a quality team. The tip team I've seen playing this year, even in challenge games and in the Munster Championship and here in Croke Park, they have looked quality, they have the skill, and they want to be hot favourites. But young fellas, anything can happen, and it's unpredictable. We're physically very strong, but whether we have enough hurl on us, it's going to be debatable.
Michael, looking through the Tipperary team, there's a great spread of scoring forwards there, and they've also got Kevin Cummins back in the side this afternoon. He missed the semi-final because of injury, and here are the tip team indeed.
That's right, the Tipperary forward line this year has been particularly impressive. They've Donald Shelley there, who started with the vocational school team during the winter, and I actually saw him playing in Bannerhead earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And then Owen Kelly, who was with the under-21s, is a super forward for a young fella. He had a stormer against Clare in the Munster final. Came on and scored 3 points. And the other thing about them is they're a very big team physically. Their centre back there, Kevin Mulryan, is about 6'4". And it's unusual for minors. I think they have 9 or 10 lads around the 6 feet mark. So they're going to be very formidable opponents. But Galway have a great record over the past few years in underage hurling, and it should be a great game.
Okay, it certainly should indeed. So that's the Tipperary team, a team full of talent. The future of Tipperary hurling, perhaps? Well, Galway will be hoping to dent some of that ambition here this afternoon. Looking forward to this game. With us is our match commentator, Micheál O'Shea.
Gurmahagad Michael, agus Shahid Furin Hobradara, aha, a Mohide Bork, Shnead and Sanid, agus Kinchev Gwil, Aharu, Diente, Eget Hobradarn, Ta Kevin Cummins, a Gimmert, in out Cahal Hulihin, Irash, we shall Gimmert to Grave the Moon, Kevin, agus Borta Shehin, Shnente and Aharu, agus Shahunish, Deshigan, Fiachant, Erna Coolinson, Lashley, Paul Corden, agus Kevin Mulryan, Mohol Lord Portke, on Vertkina, Tom King, agus Stephen Mason, agus Inish na Tussahe. Dar no Tasigan Galer no Hechti, Tadiente ge On Kelly, Dermot Gleeson, Las Modason, Tussahe, ha, Gabin er Fad, Hunscorail, agus Tatepe Fos, Edding Alive, Buchtent Hobradara, and Lion Chlohi Canish, Tabuter, Chlohi Creevy, Catcalor, agus Shahid. Agus Buetico, Loch Garman, agus Ta, Shach Goul, agus Shefinte, agus Dahad, Aimshihe, Goodisako. Boyd agus Shefinte Derster, Meon, da Mosfeder, Lehede Yenov, agus Boyd agus Cookfinte, Lavelle, Ege Galiv, Meon, Homa, Martin is Buganecher, Edu Doiden, so agus Rife Consunagan, Ardan, agus Ludehansa, the Eden the Gali, Ediana Vishli, a Macha de Borskitsa, agus here Dochas, Gunaido, Glohotan, Giedo Riev, Buchtent, Hobradan, Sohlohe Canish. Agus, well, ní bheith sé dapid, is sinna ghéanamh, a ní léní Christ, a bhaint le buchtante Hobradára dar nó, agus Raif Consunagan, Michael John Quinn, agus lochtacaíochta na Gailí, agus neadachata, a mecht sína gawn súd, a láthar na huide. Iad dóchas agus dócha, ostra de go bhfuil buite na séinsid, gníana siad a bheachtanis leis na minúid, agus tíomhua a godísa ag an Gailibh, hochtaut sí noch a dó, agus noch a cehead, dar nó tá Shaking Diag ag Tabradar an count dernach an noch a Shake súd an count dernach dar nó ag an Gailibh an noch a cehead, agus an Idan an so, a díide choscóid Ardána Ógáin agus is dócha go bheith seo an chréamh dhearnach a bheith a gin go méid Ardán Ógáin mar a há a láthar na huide, mar is ré an a dhearid a haige agus leachfar agus dar nócud for Ardán nó ina áit. Agus Banacúil Bhuachalí Ardain a Mohide Bord gus Taiseach an Raircúid an sa, da éon chluhi canis, agus Moltóid Choma a Mohide Bord gudsan, Sné, Patahern, Lashtir da Eden na Gailí a Hansa, Inis, Snéadan Cúigar Diag na Hinaldathe, a Machta Joe an Tevlín, Snéadan Cúigar Diag a Hasnóig a Turt Aig Hobradarn, agus Shachúin Desinis agin fiachant Eden sa na Gailí, agus Ahrú a bháin dianta agus sun Choma, mar a cén sibitsun an Farlá Pártge, Jerry Farahar, ó gánach sé bliana díag an tesógéide Bártge co, sinna gimmert in áit Shane Tierney, an Snéan Tahrú haidéant agus Shahid inis na cúlathe, John Culkin an Captain agus Conor Dervin, an a hahí ag a siúd Choma, ag gimmert a stig a láslí agus Clihánach le siúd, Fergal Moore agus Hugh Whirisky agus an tógánach Gerard Farahar, Lord Portke agus Shahid na Tussahe, or so, a bheith siad a bra, Sné David Fordenson, or so, a bheith siad a bra, chuin na scórana a Raim Siú, agus Kevin Brady, Cathal Cohn, Damien Hayes, bheith siad a súl, gynnaid o glór fad, dar no Michael Coughlin, ar na hat slat agus dyrtalum go féad a le siúd, immert leis na cosan tóidí Choma, ach Sné David Ford agus Craib na Hayden, buite níos túisce imlíanaige.
Yes, we'll be back to Micheál O'Shea again shortly, but that's the situation inside the ground here at Croke Park. As I said to you earlier, outside the ground, the crowd has been building up for a couple of hours now as people are coming here and hoping to savour the atmosphere, maybe indeed hoping to get a ticket as well for those who have not been lucky enough to get one so far. Jim Carney has been outside. Let's see who's been meeting.
The second best place in the world to be today after inside Croke Park is outside Croke Park, because Jones's Road, the atmosphere is magical, magnificent out here. I've just met James Moran from Cork. James, you're from Cork. Now tell me, how is this going to work out today?
Well, I think Cork should win it with. They have a young team and they're very good side lads, and
Well, Ben O'Connor, like from my club, Newtown Sandrum, and I look up to him as a good player.
Yeah, and we've got Ben's sisters here, Marie and Paula. What a day for the family, girls.
Yeah, great. Day for family.
Yeah.
Hopefully they pull it off and win the Ireland.
Yeah, and how was Ben? How was he over the weekend? Feeling good?
Yeah, good. Great.
Yes,
Hope
and,
they play well.
yes, and Jared, his cousin, is here too. Jared, you tell me, how's it going to go?
Cork win by at least 5 points.
Now, Kilkenny have been down this road so often. 1 point always does Kilkenny. Frank, you've got a family interest too. Tell me about it.
Well, just best of luck to Canis Brennan, who's my brother-in-law today, and be a very close game, but 1 point will do for us.
Not 5.
1 will do.
Yeah. Now, Christine, you're from Kilkenny as well, from the city. What's it been like down there this week?
Oh, it's been mighty, yeah. We had all the supporters out last night cheering them all on, and we've had pageant games during the weekend. Come on, Andy, you can do it for us today. O'Loughlin.
And that's Andy coming from?
Andy coming from O'Loughlin's, our local club. Come on, Andy.
Yes.
Anybody else on the ground now with the hangover won't appreciate those gentlemen just in the moment, but 1 point will do it, whether it's for Cork or Kilkenny in the senior game, whether it's for Galway or Tipperary in the minor final. In the more sedate setting, it's Marty Morrissey down pitch side.
Well, down here I can
Yes, that is the Black Mill set dancers from Kilkenny City, and from Cork it was the Mill Street set dancers, and well done to them, not a foot wrong. I'm sure that they enjoyed that. Out in Edmonton, in Canada, especially Kieran Curtin and all the gang out there. Best wishes come to you from Dave and Helen Curtin. And also I'm sure it was enjoyed out in Sydney, Australia, where Brian Hayes, Fergal Fenlon and all the gang from Great Namana there watching, and best wishes come to you from Kathleen Fenlon. Now, do you remember the 1974 All-Ireland hurling final? Well, I certainly do, and actually, if I remember the 1975 one even better. Kilkenny victorious on both of those occasions. In 74, they beat Limerick in the All-Ireland decider. Let's give you a quick reminder of that.
6 points to 1 in favour of Limerick. 12 minutes into the first half. And Pat Hartigan going down for that one. Willie Fitzpatrick now for Kilkenny. And it's the goal! It's a goal! Nick Brennan, the scorer. Out to Liam O'Donoghue on the 14. And this kind of day isn't conducive to that kind of close hurling, but it's still Liam O'Donoghue. And it is! It's in the net! It's a goal! It's a goal! Liam O'Donoghue! And Pat Delaney out on the half-forward line again, with Keaton Purcell in on the full forward line. And they're trying these high. It's a goal! It's a goal! The low ball into the goal. Pat Delaney, the scorer. Nicky Orr to Pat Lawler. And there goes the final whistle. And Kilkenny are the All-Ireland champions of 1974.
Well, it's a match I remember well, this 1974 All-Ireland final between Kilkenny and Limerick. I watched it up on the left-hand side of Hill 16, and it was a dirty, wet day. And the team led here by their captain, Nicky Orr. I met Noel down in the Kilkenny dressing room just a little while ago. He has an important part to play behind the scenes with the current team as well. His son, of course, will be playing a little bit later on.
In the 40s, Philly was there in the 60s, 70s and 80s, and later today the third generation Philip will be on the Kilkenny team as well. Left full back in that team was Jim Tracy.
Hasn't changed a bit.
Maribela Kuiger Yesh Pat Lawler. In Lord Wheel, Pat Henderson.
Man who was manager of Kilkenny in recent seasons, late 80s.
In Lord Naparka, Liam Chunky O'Brien.
Yes, the unmistakable Chunky.
And with him, the only man ever to win 7 All-Ireland medals, all at midfield, Frank Cummins.
One of the strongest men ever, I suppose, to play in midfield, Frank Cummins.
Mick Crotty.
Mick Crotty, who went to UCC.
Centre forward, Pat Delaney.
And Pat, of course, also has an involvement in today's team, PJ.
And the captain when Kilkenny won in 75, Billy Fitzpatrick.
Real tearaway, wasn't he?
Right corner forward, both years, Mick Crony Brennan. Full forward, Kieran Purcell.
Yes, the great Kieran Purcell.
August Mad Ibra Kuidyab, Eddie Kerr.
One of the greatest ever. Listen to the cheer.
And the other members of the panels of the 2 years, PJ Ryan. G. Murphy. Nicky Brennan.
Nicky, who also had a spell as team manager,
and
county chairman as well.
Brian Cody, who was left full back in 75, his wife, Elsie.
Very fine camogie player.
James Delaney. Dick McNamara. Ger Fennelly.
Ger, who later started
Billy
midfield
Hart.
himself, of course.
And the coming man in those days was Ger Henderson, represented by his wife Noreen.
Ger, one of the Kilkenny selectors for this afternoon.
Derralene, that wonderful hurler, Matt Ruth.
Yes, Matt Ruth, who has some wonderful memories of Croke Park.
Sheena gave you the card, the Irish Nationwide Building Society GA Jubilee teams from Kilkenny, 74 and 75, Cogordicus Liv Galera lads.
Well, they still look like they could go out there and do a really good job for Kilkenny. But they were the stars of 1974 and 75.
There was just the one change on the team in 75 from 74. Brian Cody, of course, came into the team on that occasion instead of Jim Tracy. So that's why it's a double year, 74 and 75 for them. A special welcome for Eddie Kerr, especially from the Cork supporters, as you heard there for yourself. OK, those are the stars for Kilkenny of 74 and 75, Cyril Farrell. Is this present Kilkenny team good enough to be here in 25 years' time?
Well, that's the question that all Kilkenny teams, the Kilkenny supporters believe that they are. You know, down there they're very, very confident. Cork like to be underdogs, it suits them, and that's the question. Like when you have a very traditional power like Kilkenny or Cork, you're always going to be compared against the teams of the past. And unless Kilkenny win this All-Ireland, you know what I mean, them players will not rate this present crop unless they've done it. Now there are players on it that have won All-Ireland, but this team as such has to win All-Ireland. They were there last year, so therefore they have to win it this year to be rated with that 70. You know, that was a great team, that double team, and when you look at them there, like they're still hardy looking, strong men, you know, and like very good hurlers, household names.
Michael Dignan, the teams are about to run out onto the pitch in 2-3 minutes' time now. You were here 12 months ago in this situation. Just exactly what is happening in the mind of a player, just as he's about to go out?
Yeah, I think it's a very private time really for players in a lot of ways. I think everyone has their own rituals, and it takes years maybe to get it right. You know, sometimes you can be very excited, other times you're very quiet. But I think everyone has their own thing. Some lads will be doing a lot of talking, like in our dressing room, Brian Whelan would always be wanting encouraging everybody. Other players wouldn't be a word out of them. Kevin Keenan very quiet, Martin Hannon be very quiet, and yet when they'd be out in the field, you know, they'd be very vocal and they let their hurling do the talk. So like it really is down to everybody. It's nerve-wracking, but in a way, like everything is behind you. You know, you have all the build-up, all the media during the week, all the crowd. You know, you're aware of all that. But just really looking forward to the game, to get out on the field, let the first 5 minutes go, and you know the nerves will go then. It's just really, let's go now. We've enough done, we've enough talking done, we've our preparation done, and let's go out there now. And you can't wait for the first ball really. And once that's over with you, then you settle down and into the game.
Not only, Michael, were you here last year, but you were here against Kilkenny, of course, in this All-Ireland final. When you go out onto the pitch and they come out onto the field, do you ever look across at the other team?
Yeah, not really, no. I think you're just concentrating on your own thing. You go out, get the photograph taken, and go away and take a few shots or a few pokes, whatever you do yourself. So, you know, we wouldn't be worried about the other team. You'll see enough of them once the game starts.
OK, Michael, well, the cheer is about to go up from the Cork supporters as Mark Landers leads out Cork into the 1999 All-Ireland hurling final.
What a wonderful splash of colour up there on Hill 16. Equally divided, I think, between Kilkenny and Cork fans. Perhaps the Cork lads shading it a little bit. But there is a wonderful sense of atmosphere, and they're looking forward to seeing players like Joe Dean entertained. The rain comes lashing down once again. At one stage, you know, Cork went 12 years without an All-Ireland. Today, Cork leave well and good alone. Why change a winning combination? So Donald O'Cusack is in goal once again. It's 20-year-old Diarmuid O'Sullivan who's at full back as we take a look into the back line for Cork. And it's a very, very strong back line. They have been refusing to concede scores match after match. Brian Corcoran, of course, the only one of the Cork team today with All-Ireland final experience at centre-half. Mark Landers and Mickey O'Connell share midfield duties, and in the forward line, led by Joe Dean, Ben O'Connor there as well, Shawnee McGrath. Will their pace be able to test Kilkenny's defence? And the Cork mentors, Ted Owens there, the trainer of the team, as they head for their photograph on the bench. Trying to encourage, trying to G up the players. Brian Corcoran with the helmet in the background. Alan Brown just going out of shot, one of those who will be on the subs and very likely to be used if Cork need to make changes up front for the afternoon. Well, desperate conditions for the players now to try and face into. I was saying that at one stage Cork went 12 years without winning an All-Ireland, but that was back in the 60s. Of course, then they came along in 1966, weren't fancied, but arguably had more experienced men than Jimmy Barry Murphy has at his disposal this afternoon. The coach has certainly given youth its head, but for all that, it's been the backline where Cork have done best really this year. So many of their scores coming through Joe Dean. He's scored about 75% of all of their scores so far, and the next highest scorer is the midfielder Mickey O'Connell. Just as awful for the fans down there, packed as you see into Hill 16. Well, they've been the greatest of rivals, but bear in mind that since the 1960s, Cork have lost 5 of the last 6 finals against Kilkenny. DJ Carey about to come out, John Power stepping through it, Andy Comerford as well, Willie O'Connor there, Charlie Carter making his way out onto Croke Park. And now the turn of the Kilkenny fans to give a tremendous ovation and a tremendous welcome to their heroes. Ken O'Shea there, the number 13. That is Peter Barry there, the left half back. Gave an absolutely inspiring performance in the semi-final. DJ, well, one of the most complete players, I suppose, ever to play this code. A man who came back from a brief retirement. Dennis Byrne there in the centre of that group, the team captain from Graig Ballycallan. Pat O'Neill, another man who was brought back into the side. And let's have a check then on the Kilkenny team for this All-Ireland final. No alteration to Kilkenny's team following the semi-final. After all, at that particular stage, they drafted in Philly Larkin and Pat O'Neill before their semi. So it's James McGarry who's in goal today, Canis Brennan at full-back, Pat O'Neill at centre-half. Then Andy Comerford and Dennis Byrne are in midfield. It's John Power who's on the 40, and what a half-forward line, which includes DJ Carey and Brian McAvoy as well, plus Henry Shefflin there in the full forward line. What a combination, those 6 forwards, plenty of scores between them. Well, after the heartbreak of losing last year's final, there's a second chance now for most of these Kilkenny players. Under new management, of course, they've been putting up the scores, big scores at that, including 13 goals in the matches played so far. Cork with just 1 goal, remember. They have the forward, certainly, to post big tallies. And can they now win the exchanges in midfield and among the backs?
Well, looking at that Kilkenny line-out, Michael Dignan, you've been running the rule over this Kilkenny team, and no better man to do that, and where better to start, I suppose, than one DJ Carey and his role in this team.
Yeah, I think DJ, you know, over the last 10 or 12 years has been one of the top hurlers, if not the top hurler, on his day probably the top hurler in Ireland. And he was, you know, he had the troubles there with his retirement and everything else, and I'm just delighted personally, and I think the whole country is, to see him back hurling so well this year. He's completely injury free. I was talking to him a few weeks ago. He'll be up with Alan Kelly up in Tala, and I go to him as well.
The great AJ.
The great AK,
yes.
And you know, DJ's in perfect health. And he's really enjoying his hurling. I think it's great to see, and he's a potential match winner on his day. But regardless of how he plays today, it's great to see him back.
Well, it most certainly is that. DJ Carey, just 28 years of age, and he seems to have been playing in this Kilkenny team forever. Now, here's a man that was so significant in last year's All-Ireland final, Brian McAvoy. He was significant because he was cleaning out a colleague of yours, then you were moved on to, but the colleague that was moved up and turned out to be a key man up in the forwards. Of course, we're talking about Brian Whelan.
That's right. Brian had a great game there at the final last year, and I think, you know, last year he was the most improved hurler in the country, and he's continued that form, but he's not the most improved anymore. Like, to me, he's one of the key men in the Kilkenny team. Against Clare the last day, when they were struggling in the first 20-25 minutes, he managed to pop over a couple of points, and then the second half he was outstanding. And you know, he's developed. I had the misfortune to be on him again for a few minutes this year, and he scored a goal after me. But yeah, he's everything really. He's great pace, great athleticism, and goes straight for the goals and uses his strength very well. And he's a beautiful striker off his left side in particular. So I think he's going to have a major force today.
This man carries on a great tradition, of course, for the Brennan family. This is Canis Brennan playing at full back today. And a lot of people are saying it's going to be crucial that he has a good game. Kilkenny supporters are a little bit iffy about the defence, and maybe especially about Canis. Maybe is that unfair?
Yeah, well, you know, Canis is a wholehearted player, and he was centre-back last year. He played in the forwards before, and I suppose the reason I picked him out is, like, he'll be on Joe Dean today, even though Neil Ronan is named a full forward. I think it'll be Joe Dean. And Joe Dean is potentially a match winner, and a lot will depend on Canis. Just fierce pressure on him. you know, when his brother was over the team, they said he was only on the team because of his brother,
Right.
etc. And I think he's, you know, despite having played for Kilkenny for a good number of years, he probably has a bit to prove. And, you know, it's a big day for him, but he's going to be under fierce pressure, and, you know, a lot will depend on how he does.
Well, Kenneth Brennan, an army officer, I'm sure he has the mental strength to cope with the pressures of the day. This is the Cork team then, Cyril Farrell, and that man in that helmet down there in the middle, that distinctive helmet, he is such an important player in this team.
Joe Dean, the young man, I suppose this year is from Killa, young in age and young in stature maybe, but like a brilliant hurler. First touch very good, appears, Cork love to give the ball early and give it out where he can get out front, jink left or jink right, has two sides, prefers his right but good in his left, and he's also very good, an unorthodox free taker but very good. Probably Cork's top scorer this year, brilliant player, and for Cork to win, he's going to have a big influence on the game.
Yes, a young man that so many people will be looking to, and they will be looking to this man. You think this man would have a drawer full of All-Ireland medals? He's been in a Cork football or hurling team so long.
Yeah, well, Brian Corcoran is one of the greats of the game. I suppose unlucky that he came when Cork would win All-Ireland as such. Brian's duel with John Power is going to be, you know, it's going to be one of the jewels of the game. It's going to be very, very, it's going to have a big bearing on the game. Again, the last day, when they needed a man to stand up, especially in the first half, Brian Corcoran catching the ball up the field, clearing the whole time. Got hard knocks, didn't even bother looking back, and just, you know, kept on with the game. His influence on the Cork, he is the kind of the father of the Cork team. Maybe he's not captain in name, but like, you know, the way he leads them, he's one of these players that they're expecting a big game from, and if he has a big Corker on a roll.
Well, such a nice fella, such an important player, and this man too, we talked about Kenneth Brennan, this is a Cork fullback, Dermot O'Sullivan, and everybody's looking to him to give another powerhouse performance tonight.
Well, from the club that supplied Cork with Christy Ring, this fella is, kind of, to me, could be the future Brian Lohan. That's the biggest honour I could give him. He has everything, left and right, you know, great skill, as strong as a kind of a young bull, as such, like forceful, loves to get on to play. The last day he was so keen for ball, he was out taking line balls around the half-back line. I'm sure today he might have out there, but like again, he's very, very forceful. Like hasn't met anyone this year to kind of really kind of take him really on. And that full back line of Cork, I think they've only let in a goal this year along with Donald O'Cusick, so like has a great future ahead of him.
The presidential salute then for the arrival of the President of Ireland, Mary McAleese.
Excellency, the President now coming across to greet the Cork players. And Mark Landers will be a very, very proud captain meeting the President here. Recovered recently from keyhole surgery for a cartilage problem. So he introduces his colleagues going right down along the line there. Brian Corcoran, who we were mentioning a little while ago, Sean Ogo Heilpeen. Sean will be the left half back this afternoon. Well, it's been a wonderful decade for hurling, starting with Cork's win in 1990, halfway to a double and a fortnight later. Tipp won again in 91, then it was Kilkenny with 2 in a row before Offaly dented Limerick with 7 scores out of 9 attacks in the last 5 minutes of the 94 final. 95, 97, well, you know they belonged to Clare. Wexford prevailed in 96 and Offaly came back from a Leinster reverse to strike for glory in the All-Ireland final itself. So who's going to win the final title of the decade and century and millennium? James McGarry there having a word. Dennis Byrne is the team captain. Willie O'Connor here, a big occasion for Willie, of course, today, playing in his 31st championship match. Pat O'Neill, Peter Barry there, part of that highly impressive half back line. DJ Carey, I notice, it would appear, is not going to wear a helmet this afternoon. Usually he wears a black helmet. So all the different greetings. Henry Shetland there and Charlie Carter as well. Joe McDonough, GA president, also having a word there with Charlie. Liam Mulvihill there on the left. And you can just get an indication from that picture there of what a wretched afternoon it is here. So the smiling president goes to take her place in the Ort Coyle section. Husband Martin in the background. It really is a shame. Well, you just wonder about the goals situation as the parade commences. Kilkenny have the facility to get lots and lots. Cork have been struggling in that department, but they have been getting plenty of points. And this, the impressive scene from Croke Park. And among the people watching around the world today are Tomas Toomey in the Bay of Plenty, New Zealand, hoping for a Cork win, no doubt. Then Kevin Loughnane and Shem Walsh, they're in Toronto, rooting for Kilkenny, I'm told. Cormac Murphy's from Beara, watching it in Sydney, or we hope to be pretty soon for the compromise rules of international series. There's Tommy and Maura O'Neill and David and Florrie O'Mahony watching in Manchester. Maurice Murphy, he's in New Jersey today. And the Ray family in Sydney, in San Francisco, Abu Dhabi and Taiwan. Hello to Carmel there. Brian and Mark Barry and their girlfriends Tanya and Catherine watching in Sydney. Jerry and Martin Cadigan, they're watching it in Luxembourg. It's been watched everywhere and anywhere. Fergal Fenton, he's from Graignamanagh, also watching in Sydney. And four guys taking Monday off, if they win, are Richard Ryan, David Marr, Dermot O'Connell and Ian Stevenson, also down in Sydney. Paul McIntaggart, he's in San Francisco. Can't forget Canis Brennan's sister. She is in Cyprus, I think it is. That's Marion. And there's Kathleen in Germany. 92-year-old Mary Dalton and husband Billy played for Cork in 1931. She's going to enjoy this match with us, I'm told. John and Gillian, they're in Auckland, and Damien Lynch in Australia. And I can't forget Jared and Joan Gregg in the Cayman Islands. And the Sisks watching in San Francisco. Big long list of people, but they all want to be remembered to the people back at home. So the parade continues, and Kilkenny, of course, with one victory this weekend already to their credit, and that was in the handball, where Michael Duxie Walsh, the great Kilkenny exponent, defeated Walter O'Connor from Meath 21-8, 21-10. 14 singles victory now for Duxie in 15 years. It's a wonderful record. Kilkenny with 25 All-Ireland hurling wins. Cork with 27. Two of the greatest exponents. Both sides, I thought, pretty relaxed considering the tension that is about today. Well, they were pretty relaxed in the dressing rooms when I was down there about a half an hour ago. And the mentors, they looked quite at ease. And indeed, of course, Jimmy Barry Murphy and Brian Cody are old friends. They shook hands just a little while ago when the teams came out. They marked one another in the past at minor, under 21 and senior level.
And now in the final moments of the countdown to this year's All-Ireland hurling final, let me get my two panellists, Cyril Farrell and Michael Geigen, to nail their colours to the mast. Cyril Farrell, who's going to be the All-Ireland champions at 5 o'clock this evening?
Well, all year, Michael, I just felt that this Kilkenny team would win it this year. Maybe in the league semi-final I saw them and I was kind of happy that they were kind of settling into a kind of rhythm of their own. Now with the players back, I think they'll just about get there.
I was talking, Michael Geigen, to Eddie Kerr during the week. He said this Cork team are a coming team. They've come a year too soon for him anyway. Do you think they can win it?
No, I don't think they can win it either. I think it's very similar styles, very strong defence. Midfield unproven on both sides, maybe Andy Comfort with the vital edge there, and then both forwards are explosive. But I think the difference will be the experience. I don't think young players can win in All-Ireland. I may be proven wrong today, but I think that you have to maybe lose one or certainly beat Durham and competing at that level in semi-finals or whatever for a couple of years. And Kilkenny have been around for a while. I'll give them the nod.
So the nod from both of our panellists then for Kilkenny to win this year's final.
And now it's going to be the turn of Paul Hennessy to come out here, join with the Artane Boys band. DJ, by the way, has put on his black helmet, so it's business as usual for him. Everybody now facing the tricolour. Agus Seanish are on the wheel.
The national anthem will be played by the Artane Boys band and sung by Paul Hennessy. Our Lord Simeon.
gusto. And it is Cork who are going to play from left to right in the first half. I wonder how the Ku Klux Klan managed to get tickets. The Breeze will be supporting Kilkenny for the opening 35 minutes. Pat O'Connor from Mahon in County Limerick is the match referee, supported today by Pat Horn and Jerry Devlin. Already changes with Ben O'Connor and Shoddy McGrath and Joe Dean switching things around. Nothing new there. Mark Landers is poised, so too Mickey O'Connell, Andy Comerford and Dennis Byrne, wearing the Kilkenny colours. The 112th All-Ireland hurling final gets underway in the rain at Croke Park, and straight away Cork launched the first attack of the match with Neil Ronan, and he's delivered it right in towards the right-hand side of the goal. But Neil has gone out to left half forward, it seems. Switches all around the place. Joe Dean into full forward, where he's been marked by Canis Brennan. This is James McGarry, had an outstanding semi-final. Huge puck out down towards John Power, and it's a great catch by Brian Corcoran. Not a long delivery, however. Dennis Byrne snapping it up in midfield, one-handed down. Sean O'Halpine. Henry Shapland chases after him. Aware he might be hoofed. He had to make a bit of space for himself. That's towards Timmy McCarthy. They struggle for it in midfield. Here's Andy Comerford. Nice little ball inside towards John Power. Just runs ahead of him, however. Mark Landers is back for Cork. Sideline ball for Kilkenny. Well, one man who's missing this afternoon and can't be here is my radio commentary colleague Brian Carty. Wish you well, Brian. This is going to be taken here by Dennis Byrne. Now Kenny cut it up decently. Does so brilliantly. Smashing ball in. Ken O'Shea is in after it. It breaks outside towards DJ Carey. Left there and swung in the end, and it's gone. Well, the Kilkenny lads are claiming it went off a Cork back, but no joy for Ken O'Shea. Ken has had this wonderful facility to get a lot of goals in his career, 7 so far. Well, in the camera angle behind here, you can see it did in fact get a deflection. Donald Cusack. Hit across towards Neil Ronan. They climb up there for it. Breaks back out here. Once again, it's Mark Landers. Sending it in towards Joe Dean. Canis Brennan back there trying to defend. Still a bit of trouble here as Ben O'Connor whips it, and Ben has put it to the left. And that's now 2 wides for Cork. Young Ben O'Connor from Newton Shandrum. And Ben today playing in just his 4th ever championship match. Again, a long puck out as Kilkenny trying to win their own puck out from James McGarry. This is Brian McAvoy. And that one has gone left, I think, yes. No joy for Brian with his very first opportunity. But the panel were making the point beforehand, what a star he can be. Taking the opportunity to try and dry out the handle of the hurley. Donald O'Cusack from Cloyne, the home of Christy Ring. Breaks on there towards Neil Ronan. That's Peter Barry going back. Missed there by Andy Comerford. Away by Sean O'Halpine. Here comes Michael Kavanagh. Very tidy wing back. In towards John Brown's corner where he's marking Ken O'Shea here. Still John Brown, and John Power is in there as well. Sean O'Halpine attempting to get it up by clipping it with his ankles. His mother hails from Fiji. Of course, his dad is from Fermanagh. And I think we may well be seeing some other O'Halpines in the Cork colours in future years. There's Andy Comerford. This is a delightful one in, but hit to the right. And now 3 wides for Kilkenny. Nervous start for Brian Cody's team and for Jimmy Barry's. But early stages of the contest. This time it breaks down kindly for Andy Comerford, stayed back to collect towards John Power. That's going to be a vital tussle there between Power and Corcoran. This comes out nicely here to Wayne Sherlock. A low ball inside, nicely delivered towards Shoy McGrath. Even though he slipped, he still managed to get it forward. This is Canis Brennan, put under pressure by Joe Dean. Still Dean trying to get in there. It's Willie O'Connor trying to keep it away from Ben O'Connor. Well, they will have done a little bit of training in the rain, but it's been such good weather during the last few months. But I just wonder whether the weather conditions are contributing to the fact that we've got a blank scoreline so far. And as you can see, over 5 minutes gone. Neil Ronan swinging at this one. Timmy McCarthy going in there with Pat O'Neill. O'Neill, who was man of the match against Cork back in 1992. Fergal McCormack trying to get it inside, and that's away by Philly Larkin. And the final shot has gone to the right. It was an opportunity. Ben O'Connor out of luck. So a lot of missed chances so far. 3 for Cork, and for Kilkenny it's been 3 so far as well. Broken down by Mark Landers against Andy Comerford, picked up delightfully here by DJ Carey. Nicely inside. Diarmuid O'Sullivan coming out into the hands, it goes there, of Brian Corcoran. Corcoran sending it up to the right half forward to his Timmy McCarthy. Snapping at his heels there, however, was Peter Barry. This is Brian McAvoy. Can he get the first score of the match here? Outside to John Power. How he'd love to score. And he has put it to the right. It was a good opportunity. Kilkenny had the man over. Well, the match still really trying to establish a pattern. Fergal McCormack can't contain it. Peter Barry back towards McCormack once again it comes. Blocked down initially by Barry. Second chance, good vision to pick out Mark Landers. Still a difficult one for him to take to get away from Andy Comerford. Landers, the captain, striking and then putting it over the bar. At last a point arrives in this All-Ireland final, but it's taken 7 minutes. Mark Landers from Killa making it a point for Cork, no score for Kilkenny. Good vision here by Fergal McCormack to find Mark Landers. Saw him out of the corner of his eye, I'm sure. He got away, Landers, from Comerford, and that's the first score. Here's Dennis Byrne, trying to establish mastery at midfield towards Henry Shefflin. That's once again Brian Corcoran. The hand pass out to Landers. Up towards Ben O'Connor, swung on well. Shonny McGrath trying to win the race here with Willie O'Connor. Second chance for Cork to get a score perhaps here, but it's been spurned by Shonny McGrath. And he's certainly one of the players that Cork will be really looking to this afternoon. He could be a key factor. I know in Kilkenny they were a little worried about the pace of the Cork inside forward line. Ben O'Connor, Shonny McGrath and Joe Dean. James McGarry, number 1 goalkeeper. Martin Carey, of course, suffered a fractured finger in training last Sunday, so he doesn't have a chance of playing. That's O'Halpine again. Kavanagh going back, Philly Larkin coming from the cornerback position. They almost get in a muddle. And forced in the end to put it out over the sideline. A lot of pressure. Well, Kilkenny's ball, and it's going to be Michael Kavanagh from the St. Upton's club who will take it. Again, they look for possession. Once again, they're trying to force their way through. Timmy McCarthy, the one with the shot. And that's gone over the bar. First point of the day for Timmy McCarthy. Young player from Castlelyons. He's a farmer by profession. The fans roar on their encouragement. And Cork have the opening 2 points of the match. This was left there by Neil Ronan for Timmy McCarthy, and a well-struck shot. Mark Landers back in midfield. He's been very influential so far. DJ racing after him. And DJ trying to hook and doing well. Showing that he's also a very useful defender. The hand passes by Dennis Byrne. Repelled, however, there by Wayne Sherlock. Back to Byrne once again. Kilkenny needing a score. Nobody back in there on John Brown. Shefflin a little bit late arriving. And Ken O'Shea had given him far too much room. Mark Landers has support here from Wayne Sherlock. Mickey O'Connell leaving it for Timmy McCarthy. Peter Barry sticking to the task. Barry had such a wonderful semi-final. Here's Brian McAvoy, also a star that day. And Brian McAvoy's shot has gone left. Far too many misses by Kilkenny, 5 so far. Young and not so young enjoying the sense of occasion here. Even though the game as a contest has yet to really take off. This time a bit of variation by Donal O'Cusack. Good work by Fergal McCormack. That's Mark Landers. And that one has gone wide. Interesting that Fergal McCormack is attempting to try and take Pat O'Neill out of the centre whenever possible. Two very strong centre-backs in action this afternoon. Well, let's go across to the sideline to get some up-to-date news from our reporter today. It's Marty Morrissey.
Well, Jared, just to note that Jimmy Barry Murphy is very annoyed with Mark Landers that last time because he wants the ball sent in low to Joe Dean. That's the tactic in this first half.
This is Ken O'Shea. Kilkenny needing a score, and Kilkenny still fail to register point number 1 for the day. Real disappointment for Ken O'Shea from Donegan. Well, he's had a couple of chances. Kilkenny have missed too many opportunities so far, but he got away well from the attentions of John Brown. That's a beautiful catch by Fergal McCormack. Again, he's drifting out to the left half forward position. Into Joe Dean, the kind of ball he likes, getting there ahead of Philly Larkin. Shorty McGraw's waiting inside, but it's taken beautifully by James McGarry. Very settling influence in the Kilkenny backline is James McGarry this year. Mark Landers, two players getting in one another's way that time. It's McCormack who finally delivers the pass forward, but will end up being a sideline ball for Kilkenny. Disappointed Kilkenny fans, I'm sure, with the start that their team has made. Jimmy Barry Murphy will be happy enough to at least have got the opening points after nearly 12 and a half minutes play. Here's Philly Larkin. And that sideline ball almost gone over the sideline. In fact, it was over the sideline. So Cork get back possession. Third generation of Larkins, of course, to fill the corner back berth. His dad won 5 All-Irelands. Brian Cody, one of the stars of yesteryears, come in and done a really good job. Well hit inside by Mickey O'Connell. Dennis Byrne is way back there helping out his defence towards John Power. And Cork are well aware of the threat that if Power gets going in this match, he really could open up the Cork backline. Here's Brian Corker, who's done a good job so far. Beautifully taken here by Pat O'Neill. First time we've really seen him get on top of the ball and dominate. Back once again there from the man in the corner, Fergal Ryan. Peter Barry fouled, free to Kilkenny. This is the very first free of the match, which is a very interesting statistic, considering the fact that there are nearly 14 minutes gone. This free is going to be left to Pat O'Neill. Dropping right there towards Henry Shefflin. Pass back out towards Wayne Sherlock. One back by John Parr. Good work by Parr. And Brian McAvoy again cursing his luck because once again the ball has gone wide. It's been a wretched start to the match by the Cats. Donal O'Cusack has been busy with the puck out so far. This time going towards the right half forward position. Mickey O'Connell drifting across there. That's Brian McAvoy just getting enough on it. Dennis Byrne, almost hooked there by Mickey O'Connell. Still it reaches Charlie Carter. Can Charlie inspire this Kilkenny team? Not with that particular shot. Once again, disappointment is his lot. A colleague, of course, at club level with DJ Carey. Hard to believe all the misses so far. Fergal McCormack drifting right this time, getting away from, first of all, Brian McAvoy, now trying to push ahead. Peter Barry still chasing, and it falls into the waiting arms of Pat O'Neill, built like a tank. Down towards Charlie Carter, missed. Fergal Ryan goes back, Henry Shefflin, the young 20-year-old coming across, doing well. Rated one of the very best young players in the game, Henry Shefflin, showing presence down there, expecting to get something, in particular 65, but it's another puck out for Cork. This was beautifully taken forward here by Fergal McCormack. Watch then as Pat O'Neill came out and darted away with it. Fergal McCormack again, he's drifted out towards the right-hand side and a big switch with Timmy McCarthy. Here's Brian McAvoy, stymied by Wayne Sherlock. Nicely away by Willie O'Connor. Brian Corcoran up towards Shawnee McGrath. Takes it down beautifully to himself. Scoring opportunity, but he drops it short to James McGarry. Broken down by Sean O'Halpine, but only as far as Andy Comerford. Next it's Dennis Byrne. Fergal Ryan once again, the Black Rock man, to Timmy McCarthy. Scorer of one of the points so far in the game. The other, Mark Landers, of course. Good solo run, this is what he's good at. Loves to take it forward, and this time he's got another score. A second point for Timmy McCarthy, and a third for Cork. And Cork have done all the scoring so far. This was a tremendous solo run here by Timmy McCarthy, switching in to centre half forward in the last moment or two, and a nice little tap over the bar. 2 shots on the goal for McCarthy, 2 points. That's blocked down there. Mark Landers is trying to get it away. Charlie Carter trying to get it back in for Kilkenny. Picked up there by Landers, missed his clearance however. Charlie Carter still chasing after him. Here's Mickey O'Connell, the Middleton man, towards Shawnee McGrath. And that's again beautifully taken away, this time by Canis Brennan. Stolen away brilliantly, and a long clearance towards Ken O'Shea. Breaks out towards John Power. Power against Brian Corcoran. An angled ball, not exactly going anywhere. Certainly not near enough to the Cork goal to trouble them. And the clearance there is by Sherlock. Dennis Byrne drops it down. Pat O'Neill's waiting for it. Here's Andy Comerford, having support if he needs it. Doing a kind of a Timmy McCarthy in it and trying to take it right at the defence. He's tripped in any case, and it's a free in for Kilkenny. Neil Ronan needing a replacement stick. Neil from the Ballyhay club up in North Cork. Comes from a very well-known hurling family. Well, there's concern about an injury to one of the Cork lads. It's Wayne Sherlock, as that was brilliantly taken by Canis Brennan. Well, what they might term in basketball, I suppose, a steal by Canis Brennan by Pat O'Neill already in this match. Wayne Sherlock, who's 20 and playing today in his 4th championship match. Winner of 2 All-Ireland Under-21 championships already from that very fine team coached by Bertie Og Murphy. And a lot of them made it straight through into the Cork team. That's Andy Comerford, started his championship career with London, played 3 championship matches for them. The Cork wing back is okay. It's a free into Kilkenny. It's Henry Shefflin. This is 50 metres out. Can he get Kilkenny's first point here? It's one they need badly, and he has got it. From that long-range free, very well struck indeed by Henry Shefflin. And at last Kilkenny get themselves a score, but it's taken 19 minutes. A very low-scoring All-Ireland final so far. Andy Comerford, that's a great catch. Still Comerford. And that's another shot and another score. Couldn't score for the opening 19 minutes of the match, and now they get 2 in a row. And that's Andy Comerford from O'Loughlin Gales. And without being able to score, Kilkenny are right back in it, and only a point between the teams. Donal Cusack. This time going towards Neil Ronan's corner. Coming forward was Mark Landers. That's Fergal McCormack. Picked up here well by Ben O'Connor. Stealing forward again. Kavanagh's chasing after him. This is in for Dean. Joe Dean looking for some latitude. A shot that's gone over the bar. First point for Joe Dean. So little to choose, really. And anybody's match at 4 points to 2. Again, it's an interesting tussle over there between Sean O'Halpine and DJ Carey, and Carey hasn't been getting enough of the ball so far. John Brown, dentist by profession, to Sean O'Halpine once again, beyond Fergal McCormack. Taken here by Philly Larkin of the Cats. John Parr, low pick up. Held there. And it's Mark Landers who struggles with him, and the referee says you were holding him back, and it's a free for Kilkenny. Cork fans did not agree. So once again they bring Henry Shefflin up from the full forward position to take this free. This is further out than the one he pointed a little while ago. So can he once again narrow the gap to a point? As he judged it well, he looks to have a white flag goes up, and it's another score for Henry Shefflin from a free, and Brian Cody will be a great deal more relieved. Tremendous point, and it's 4 points to 3. Mickey O'Connell giving it to Timmy McCarthy, looking for another one. His third shot, his first miss, however. Always remembered in a Munster Championship match a couple of years at under-21 level. I think it was 1997 when he scored a late goal against Tipperary. Henry Shefflin and DJ Carey have switched in the last couple of seconds. DJ now is in at full forward. That's Henry contesting. This is John Parr. Fed forward to the young man with the green helmet. And he swung this one in beautifully, and he's put it over the bar. The switch working straight away. That move to bring Shefflin out to right half forward. He's got his third point, the first from play, and the sides are level for the very first time in the match. So without performing as fluently as they can in the attack, Kilkenny have now drawn level, and that was a tremendous effort by Henry Shefflin. Oh, a great catch again by Pat O'Neill. Kicked forward towards DJ Carey. Trying to take Diarmuid O'Sullivan out of position. Sullivan sticking very tightly indeed to DJ, trying to deny him a route into goal. Looking around for support, gets it from Charlie Carter. And the final effort going near the sideline. Who touched it last? It must have been the Kilkenny man, because it's gone for a puck out. Well, after the nervousness that was perfectly understandable in the awful conditions here, let's hope now that both sides can play their usual fluent game and get lots and lots of scores. Fans, of course, today, as usual, have been told to stay off the pitch at the end of the match, and that's going to be interesting. That's broken down by Peter Barry. Next, it's Brian McAvoy. Mickey O'Connell, and the foul there is by Andy Comerford. A look of bewilderment on Andy's face. But a free to Cork, 65 metres out from the Kilkenny goal. And a Kilkenny player down injured. Appears to be Peter Barry. So Dr. Bill Cuddihy is forced to come onto the field for the first time in the match. Let's go back out to the sideline once again to get some more up-to-date news from Marty Morrissey.
Well, indeed, the tactical switch by Kilkenny to put DJ in full forward has been altered again. I think Brian Cody has given the freedom to DJ Carey and Henry Shefflin to make their own moves at whatever opportune moment there is.
So Brian Cody ringing the switches. And this is Cork's first free of the match. Mickey O'Connell about to take it. And that has gone away to the left. He'll be disappointed. Certainly Cork would have been looking to a kind of performance that he put up against Waterford in the opening round when he scored 8 points in all. McGarry again targeting John Power, straight down the middle, stopped however by Brian Corcoran. Good defending. Storming forward. Great run by Brian Corcoran, outside towards Fergal McCormack. Difficult one for him to hold on to. Not an easy ball by any manner of means. Peter Barry was trying to deny him. Dennis Burns back there. Here's Timmy McCarthy. Fergal McCormack again. And that has gone out over the sideline. And that's a sideline ball to Kilkenny. Fergal McCormack, this nephew of Mick O'Connell, the great Kerry footballer of yesteryear. He's an auctioneer by profession, based in Mallow. Willie O'Connor here. He's had an impressive season so far, quick and sharp as usual. This is towards Andy Comerford. Great catch again by Andy. Back to Brian McAvoy. Ooh, almost selling a dummy to himself there. O'Connell chasing after it. That's Michael Kavanagh. Inside towards John Power. This time being marked by Sean O'Halpine. Back to help out, however, is Brian Corcoran, never too far away. Good catch once again by Andy Comerford. He's been beginning to dominate at midfield, making a lot of catches there. Mickey O'Connell this time gets it forward towards Shawty McGrath. McGrath yet to score in this match. This time he's got his opportunity, but this time he's spurned it once again. A real look of disappointment. Nothing at all so far from 3 shots by Shawty McGrath. I know a lady called Mary Newman who's in the orthopaedic hospital will be very disappointed with that miss. She's a great Glen Rovers and Shawty McGrath fan. Both sides continuing their options, or considering their options on the far side, considering possible switches and substitutions even. Nothing happening so far. That's gone straight back to Andy Comerford. Diarmuid O'Sullivan comes down with this one. DJ Carey's about, however. That spells danger. John Power, and the shot by Power's gone over the bar. His first of the day. What a great move it was to bring him back into the Kilkenny team. He has such an influence when playing on the 40, and now he's given Kilkenny the lead. First time that Kilkenny has led in the match. And this is a point that was made by DJ Carey for John Power. Brian McAvoy trying to get more and more into the game at left half forward. Mickey O'Connell chases. The hand pass across here anticipated by Henry Shefflin. Turning left, but striking right and putting it wide. Doesn't miss too many, Henry Shefflin. And a facial injury, as you can see here, to Willie O'Connor. O'Connor from Glenmore. So about 7 minutes to go to the half-time whistle. That's Dennis Byrne towards Ken O'Shea. Henry Shefflin seems to have gone back into full forward in the last couple of minutes. Here's John Brown. Anticipating here is Dennis Byrne, the Kilkenny captain. Driving it right in there. Charlie Carter's after it, and so too is Donald O'Cusack. Good work by the Cork goalkeeper. That's Fergal Ryan getting it away. Down to Shawty McGrath. Trying to take Willie O'Connor on a tour of Croke Park. Inside towards Timmy McCarthy. Back out towards Dennis Byrne. Byrne showing tenacity. Getting it down towards DJ Carey. Wayne Sherlock trying to hold up his progress. Good block down by Sherlock. Good skill. That's Sean O'Halpine. The clearance across towards Neil Ronan's corner. Ben O'Connor's there as well. So too Andy Comerford. This bounces away off Brian Corcoran's stick. John Power in there. Back comes Corcoran, anticipating the shoulder from Ken O'Shea, doing just enough to get it away, but only out as far as Brian McAvoy, and McAvoy has put it wide. Amazingly, Kilkenny have had 12 wides in the first half, and we still have over 5 minutes to play. Well, very poor shooting by Brian Cody's team, but they've had a lot of possession. Brian McAvoy, no score so far, and 4 shots, and this was that very fine anticipated save here by Donald Cusack. Player down, who needs the attention this time, is Dennis Byrne. Dennis, who made his championship debut against Meath in '94. Tom Cashman in the middle of that group, Jimmy Barry Murphy there as well, the team manager of course, and Ted Owens, who's done so well to prepare them physically. But how do you prepare for a wet day, as the Cork selectors have a quick little meeting? Sean O'Leary there on the right of that group, and the programme is now coming in pretty handy here, if you know the players, just to keep the hair dry. Well, Dennis Barry's back at his feet once again. Bill Cudahy has done his job, the team medical officer. DJ Carey has switched back in, I can tell you, in the last couple of seconds. Now that's a nice handy head of hair, isn't it? Here comes Andy Comerford. This time it pops out into the arms of Mickey O'Connell, dragged down, however, by Michael Kavanagh, and it's going to be a free in for Cork. So just a point in it. And Joe Dean being brought out, I can tell you, to take this free. Joe with a point so far. Comes from hurling mad killer in East Cork. Can he put Cork level here? It's just outside the 45-metre line. Dropping towards the right, Shawnee McGrath was coming in and it's gone wide. The ball had gone wide before Shawnee McGrath put it back into play. Shades of a certain goal against Clare, of course, in this year's Munster final. That time it was McGrath who kept the ball in play, and that particular day down in Thurles it was Joe Dean who found the back of the net. James McGarry. Down towards John Powell. Again, he tries to take it through the very heart of the Cork defence. They stumble over him. The number 2 is Fergal Ryan. Back towards Charlie Carter, anticipating, and Ken O'Shea was in like a flash, but out comes the goalkeeper once again. Another fine clearance by Donald Cusack. Here's Andy Comerford, locating Michael Kavanagh. Dropped in towards the 2-man attack. DJ's there. Ken O'Shea's there, and the ball ends up flying past, whistling past the goalkeeper, and he's wondering just why he can't score. Well, the mentors are as well, I'm sure, and there's plenty of strength in the bench over there for Kilkenny. You think of PJ Delaney and Niall Maloney as well capable of coming in and doing a right good job on the forwards. That's dropped down beautifully here to Fergal McCormack, and Fergal's shot has gone left. Cork have 10 wides, Kilkenny with 13 so far. That's an amazingly high tally as we go back to the sideline to Marty.
Indeed, Cork are just making alterations around the centre of the field. Timmy McCarthy was a little bit confused. He now is operating in midfield. Mickey O'Connell is at centre forward and Neil Ronan on the wing.
I would think Mickey O'Connell needs to get more into this match, because Cork, like Kilkenny, have the subs who could come in. You think of Alan Brown, you think of Kevin Murray as well. Mark Landers leading this sideline to be taken by Andy Comerford. Close to the break, about a minute remaining. That's Timmy McCarthy back there in midfield, as you heard. Again, he goes on his customary solo run. Partial block on that by Andy Comerford. They swing at it over there. Peter Barry's there. And once again, it's Timmy McCarthy coming forward. He leaves it to Ben O'Connor. Ben O'Connor taking off here beyond Philly Larkin. struggling to get it up in the stick, however, and that's a very good corner back play by Philly Larkin to deny him the space. I'm sure the older members of the Cork party, in particular Brian Corcoran, who played here in '92 against Kilkenny, will remember the weather conditions that day as well. I remember him trying to make a clearance, so the hurley literally slipped out of his hands and ended up in the Hogan stand. So far, Cork with 16 scoring chances, Kilkenny with 19. Mickey O'Connell floating this one in. Dennis Byrne. And that will be a Cork sideline ball. Well, the rain has eased quite a lot in the last 10 minutes or thereabouts. The breeze all this first half, I think, what's there of it, and it was quite fresh before the match, supporting Kilkenny. So now in stoppage time, here's Mark Landers towards Fergal McCormack, contained however beautifully by Dennis Byrne. He was fouled by Neil Ronan. Little tap in the arm, the referee is telling him. One of the many young players in the Cork team. Still a nasty gash there under the eye of Willie O'Connor. Pat O'Neill dropping the free down towards DJ Carey. It bounces away off Sean O'Halfeen out to Fergal Ryan. A lot of work to be done here to try and take possession. Michael Kavanagh there, put under pressure by Neil Ronan. Ronan operating all this while at left half forward. That's straight at Pat O'Neill, expecting shoulders to come in right, left and centre, relishing them in a way. Brian McAvoy chases after this one. John Power waiting to give the ball to the number 12. Henry Shefflin trying to win the race here with Diarmuid O'Sullivan. A real pile-up here. Dennis Burns there, Mickey O'Connell is there as well, and it's taken out eventually by Kilkenny. Here's Henry Shefflin trying to pick out John Power. Instead it's Mark Landers down there, and the referee will probably end the stalemate by throwing the ball between two. Mark Landers and John Power in for the clash then. Cork there in numbers, that's Fergal Ryan, but he hits it straight at a Kilkenny man to Brian McAvoy. Again it's Diarmuid O'Sullivan who gets a finger to that one, out as far as Brian Corcoran, put under pressure by John Power. Power takes too many steps with it, and it's going to be a free out for Cork. 2 minutes of injury time has been played so far. Shawnee McGrath trying to keep the ball in play. He got the last touch, however, and the referee says that is the final touch of the first half, which has been very disappointing indeed. Far too many wides. Cork with 10 so far, Kilkenny with 13, and certainly these are two teams who can play an awful lot better than this. Maybe the conditions have contributed, but it's Kilkenny who shaded at the break by 5 points to 4. As we're going to go down very shortly now to the sideline to get some comment, I hope, from perhaps one of the mentors who may be able to give us their viewpoint on that first half. Henry Shefflin got 3 of the points so far as we head down to the sideline and to Marty.
Well, Jerry, you were slow to settle, but once you did, you seem to be operating quite well.
Yeah, we've come back into the game, like, and it's still anybody's game. The weather is a spoil sport today, like, both teams find it hard to control the ball, like, and it has ruined the game as a game, like, but it's whichever team wants it the most now, will take it.
You've missed an awful lot of chances.
Yeah, I haven't said that, but we have missed a lot of chances, and Cork have missed chances too, like, so the weather, as I said, is a big factor in today, like, it's going to be a tight game, I think, to the end, like.
Best of luck in the second half, Chair.
Thanks.
Yes, 5 points to 4. If you saw that scoreline at half-time, the All-Ireland football final, you'd say it wasn't much of a half, but the one interesting thing about it is this All-Ireland final is still up for grabs. I'll be asking Cyril Farrell and Michael Duignan for their views after this commercial break, so do please stay with us. Down there, but my goodness, a lot of wides, as you can see, 22 wides in that first half altogether, and no other statistics from the 65 bookings or sendings off. As I said, Cyril Farrell and Michael Duignan join me on the panel here this afternoon. Michael Duignan, a classic it certainly ain't, not over that first 35 or 37 minutes anyway.
No, it's been very scrappy so far, you know, not a lot of wides, a lot of bad striking, and, you know, I'm surprised really. I know the conditions are very bad, and Ger Henderson was saying that going in, but normally you'll find teams will adjust to the conditions. You see Timmy McCarthy here now, one of the few good scores in the first half. Great solo run right up the middle and just flicks it over the bar, short as the gripping over the bar. You know, Timmy's got 2 very good points. There he goes again. Just watch him here, just shortening the grip when the Canis comes to him. He just flicks it over the bar. It's a great score. But Timmy has got 2 points in play. He's the only forward that's got more than 1 point from play. I think there's only 3 other forwards who've scored from play from both teams. So very, very scrappy and surprising really that the standard is so low.
Yes, sir. Cork started brightly. We waited almost 15 minutes for Kilkenny just to get a score. Almost 20 minutes for them to get a score from play. This one coming up from Andy Comfort. Now, admittedly, it was a very good one. But 20 minutes for a score from play?
Yeah, well, like Cork starts so well that you'd imagine all half time to be on top of. Here's Andy making a mighty catch. He caught it with his in the first half, throws the ball out of him, keeps going on. He's very, very strong, and on his left side gets a score really from, you know, midfield, you could say, when they really need him, because at this stage they put a lot wide. Brian McAvoy's got a lot of shots in and the ball went wide. It's an unusual game in the sense that Cork are playing the better hurling, yet a point down. Now, you'll be talking about a classic, Michael, but you must remember in All-Ireland, to the Cork and Kilkenny players, they don't give anything fiddlers about a classic. If they win 2 points to 1, as long as the winning team is 2 points, that's all they want. They're not looking for a classic. You're not going to have any classic with the weather here like this, and it's all there to be won. Whoever wants to win it most really, but it'll come down to someone doing some little touch of genius. Shawnee McGrath left lads for dead and just lost control the last time. A goal is going to win this game, whoever gets the first one.
All right, gentlemen. Okay, on that note, let's go down to the pitch then to the Artane boys band and Paul Hennessy. Let's take a brief sample of them.
The forwards aren't making any impressions yet at all on the Cork back line. Cork will be quite happy at half time, even just a point down.
Well, Cyril's views will be appreciated by Sandra Murphy and Colin Shepherd, also Linda and Claire Drummond. They're watching us in a Sydney bar, and Pat and Eileen Varian are out on holidays out there as well. Up Cork, it says here, that comes from Paula Dunphy on the Old Yall Road, and also El-Marie and Catherine Quinlan are watching us in Mount Isa in Queensland, Australia as well. They were supposed to leave there last week. They stayed on to watch the match. Their brother Ian, in actual fact, plays with the Cloyne Club, of course, which is the club of Donald Cusick and Dermot O'Sullivan. And greetings come to you from Corla Quinlan down in Cloyne. Michael Duignan, both our panellists have gone for Kilkenny at the start. Cyril is getting a little waver in his views of it now. How about you?
Yeah, you'd have to say that the Cork backs so far have been well on top, as though have the Kilkenny backs, though Cork have probably created more room and more dangerous positions. But I'd still stick with Kilkenny. I think that maybe Brian McAvoy could have had 4 or 5 points in the first half. He might come good in the second half. And you're still waiting, of course, for DJ Alves to do something. And, you know, it could go either way. I think the nerves have probably gone out of the lads now. Hopefully it'll settle down and be a better second half.
OK, the half-time pep talk is over. The cup of tea has been drunk. They're back out on the field, ready for action in the second half of the last All-Ireland hurling final of the century. But where is it going to go? Is it going to Kilkenny? Is it going to go down by the banks? Let's rejoin Ger Canning.
One change made by Cork at half-time, and that is that Alan Brown is into the Cork attack, and I'm just waiting to see who has made way, and it looks to be Neil Ronan. So there is Alan Brown, the number 21. And Alan has gone to left half forward. A direct switch with Neil Ronan as Pat O'Connor gets ready to get this very low-scoring All-Ireland final underway for the second half. Nice ball forward here. This is Ben O'Connor laying it off to Alan Brown. And straight away with his very first touch, he ties up the game. Very impressive start by Alan Brown from Blackrock as he makes it 5 points each. And the stumbling figure there is Brian Corcoran, Mark Landers. Andy Comerford trying to win it once again in midfield. Just as Alan Brown, he'll have been so frustrated sitting on the bench during the opening 35 minutes. Now he's got a chance to make a huge impression. Here's Joe Dean. Left there for Mickey O'Connell. Inside towards Timmy McCarthy. Willie O'Connor swinging at that one, but only as far as Shawnee McGrath. McGrath with the angle shot, stopped by James McGarry. And not a very long clearance, but he manages to pick out his team captain, Dennis Byrne. An effective clearance, but it's stopped once again by Brian Corcoran. Here's Peter Barry, who switched across over onto Alan Brown. In fact, much of the talk in the speculation of the last week or so was that Alan Brown would in fact possibly even start in the Cork team and possibly be selected not at full forward but on the wings to deny Peter Barry the opportunity to have a big influence. DJ Carey, the hand pass forward towards Charlie Carter. Carly with just enough room and Charlie has knocked it over the bar. First point of the second half. First point of the match for Charlie, but first point of the second half for Kilkenny, and they go back in front again. Well, that may well settle down Charlie. With 2 attacks now, we've had 2 scores, and let's hope it's going to be a far better second half. Donal O'Cusack again targeting Alan Brown, and that's Peter Barry coming back down with it. Andy Comerford is to his left. Brown chases after him. Good movement here by the wing back, trying to locate Charlie Carter. And the man who denies them space was Fergal Ryan, and Fergal Ryan in the end was himself fouled, and it's a free out for Cork, who have the wind behind them for the second half. This is the save a little while ago here by James McGarry, batting it down to himself, very secure, playing in his first All-Ireland final. Brian Corcoran, who's had experience of playing in hurling and football finals. Remember the match against Derry in '93. This is broken down here. Willie O'Connor reacts quickest of all. Fergal McCormack knocking it back towards Alan Brown. Players on their hands and knees. One of them was Peter Barry there. A pile-up about 25 metres out. Timmy McCarthy here. Mark Landers is calling for it, and the referee says you threw that one, and it's going to be a free out for Kilkenny. Timmy McCarthy, who got 2 points from play during the first half. Certainly every possible bit of cover needed here in Croke Park today. The new stand, new Cusack that is, has always had an area that down in front which was subject to the elements on a bad day like today, and of course the canal end open for business as well, but no roof on the stand, not yet. Dennis Barry. This is towards DJ Carey, won by Sean O'Gallagher. DJ chases after him. The kick by the man who'll play in the All-Ireland football final for Cork at full back. Alan Brown in there. So too is Philly Larkin. Joe Dean here. That's Canis Brennan who's after him. Back there Peter Barry helping out, blocked down by Ben O'Connor. Trying to take it out of the corner there, but it goes straight to Philly Larkin. Towards DJ Carey. He's only about 50 metres out from his own goal. Andy Comerford. Dropped up towards Charlie Carter, over the head of Fergal Ryan. Diarmuid O'Sullivan in some difficulty back there, but helped out by Fergal Ryan once again. He's in a very tidy match at right corner back. That's Shawnee McGrath. Nicely forward here towards Mickey O'Connell. Dennis Byrne trying to get back and prevent the pass or the shot. It rains in there in front of the Kilkenny goal. They struggle to try and get the ball away. Alan Brown's in there. Canis Brennan, they're forced to kick it out eventually out over his own end line, and that's gone for today's first 65-metre free. Carrots, who is an army officer, plays for the Connaughey Shamrocks club, still quite new to playing in the full-back position, but he's done well so far. Philly Larkin is down with an injury. Appears to be in a little bit of distress. I was mentioning that his dad has 5 All-Ireland medals, whereas his grandfather, also a right corner back, won 4. Billy, one of the disappointed men from last year, and I suppose it would be unthinkable for so many of these Kilkenny players to suffer defeat again 2 years in a row in the final. That's what happened to Cork in 82-83 against Kilkenny, and of course the coach today was the captain then. Mickey O'Connell's free has dropped left, so the wides just mount up. That's the first of the second half, but it's the 11th in all for Cork. This wise face here, I'm sure he's seen many a game, and I'm sure he's wondering whether this will improve in quality. John Parr. That's Mickey O'Connell there against Charlie Carter. Comes back to Dennis Byrne. Inside towards Henry Shefflin. DJ Carey was anticipating, always expects a break perhaps to come his way. looking for space here, trying to hit it. It's come off the legs of the Cork player and away by Diarmuid O'Sullivan, but not away to safety just yet. Charlie Carter is there. Fergal Ryan trying to tie him up in the corner. This is towards Henry Shefflin. Hard to hold on to that, but he did really well. Strongly built young man. Towards Ken O'Shea, and then nipping in Sean O'Halpine. Ken O'Shea back there once again to torment, however. This angle ball is targeted towards Charlie Carter's corner. Again, it's Fergal Ryan. DJ racing for this one with Wayne Sherlock. Ryan takes it once again, not a long clearance. Here's Charlie Carter, partly blocked that time. Runs into John Power. He's got support from DJ Carey. And still going forward, and he's down. And the referee, well, what's he going to do? I think he's going to throw the ball in. Kilkenny were perhaps anticipating that Power had just made enough room, and the run was close to the edge of the large rectangle when down he went. Well, there were possibilities for John Power when he was going through that time. Certainly DJ Carey wasn't too far away from him. And this is the run again by John Power here. Seemed to be I think they were anticipating a hand pass inside. That was the tangle there with John Brown. Number 6 is Brian Corcoran. Well, let's go back to the sideline now to Marty Morrissey.
Well, just before that incident, Brian Cody, the Kilkenny manager, sent out an instruction to once again try and get DJ Carey free near the goalpost. Just before that incident, DJ Carey moved into corner forward. They're trying to make room for him and get him near Donald Cusick in the goalpost.
Well, John Power having words with the referee, and it's going to be a free. But this was a very dangerous move. But as you can see, John Power connected with the stick there of John Brown. But no penalty for Kilkenny. Instead, it's going to be a conventional 20-metre free. Henry Shefflin about to take it. 3 points so far in the match, 2 of them coming from frees. And Henry Shefflin has given it plenty of air, but plenty of accuracy as well. His 4th point then makes it Kilkenny 7, Cork 5. Donald Cusick about to take the puck out. Subs warming up on the far side. The crowd trying to get right behind both teams. 61,000 present here at Croke Park this afternoon. Andy Comerford, not a long clearance, not an effective one either. Snapped up by Wayne Sherlock of Cork. Now Shonny McGrath, dragged to the ground, however, over there. Not once but twice by Willie O'Connor. Battle-scarred Willie then concedes the free. And coming out to take it will be Joe Dean. And the man who's down here is Andy Comerford. Had some good moments during that first half. Caught a number of very good balls in midfield. So play is going to be held up. And he seems to be in quite an amount of distress. Willie O'Connor, by the way, has had his number recorded by the referee, Pat O'Connor. The free to be taken by Joe Dean. And Joe has put it down off the post, and it comes back to safety to Philly Larkin. A let-off for Kilkenny there, but they retain their 2 points advantage. Here's Sean O'Halpine, back down to Joe Dean, ran into Andy Comerford, back up on his feet again. Joe Dean trying to get away from the attentions of 2 Kilkenny players, but he's missed the opportunity, and Joe has to settle for just 1 point in the match so far. He'll be bitterly disappointed, I'm sure. And the mentors have already made one change. Johnny Crowley there, Sean O'Leary as well, Tom Cashman. Dean has had 1 point from a total of 5 shots. Fergal Ryan again trying to contain the threat of Charlie Carter. And there is a foul and there's a free, and Charlie looks around in disgust, but it's going to be a free downfield for Cork. And certainly the play of Fergal Ryan deserving of a lot of praise so far. He's done a really good job on Charlie. The rain continues to pour down here all this while, and Kevin Murray is about to join the action. That'll be another change in the Cork attack very shortly, but right now it's Alan Brown who's in there, and the umpire says that has gone wide. But the referee, I think, is he going to try and change the umpire's decision? He had his hand raised in the air, and I think it is going to be a 65. So the referee overruling the man in the white coat back there. This was Alan Brown against Peter Barry. Peter Barry went up for it, so too did the goalkeeper, James McGarry. It all ends up being a 65. Taken by Mickey O'Connell, and O'Connell's shot has gone to the left and gone wide. No joy for Mickey O'Connell so far in the game. No score from 3 shots. That's his record in the match to date. But certainly Kevin Murray is about to be introduced into this match very, very shortly. The 2 anticipated forward substitutions, one has already been made. Here's Dennis Byrne. Doing well at midfield, Dennis Byrne. Getting it away from the Cork man, tapping it in beautifully and putting it over the bar. A little bit of aggression breaking out there between Henry Shefflin and Diarmuid O'Sullivan, but all immaterial really, because Dennis Byrne has got his first point of the match and Kilkenny lead by 3. So Cork appreciating that they have to make the changes. This was Dennis Byrne. It was a very good run to get away from the attentions there of Sean O'Halpine, and he did really well to put it over the bar. Andy Comerford dropped up towards DJ Carey, their number 1 target time and again. John Power denied there by Wayne Sherlock. Here's John Brown, hooked by John Power, but he still managed to get it down towards Alan Brown. The Browns, of course, brothers, and that's gone out over the sideline, and it's going to be a sideline ball for Kilkenny. So that's Kevin Murray being, well, about to be introduced, we thought, but he's putting the tracksuit top back on. Andy Comerford swinging it in towards Henry Shefflin, and it went off Henry last, and that's a puck out for Cork. Well, let's go back to the sideline, maybe get a line on that possible substitution for Marty Morrissey.
Yes, well, there seems to be indecisiveness in the Cork management team. They seem to be contemplating it for a prolonged period of time. Kevin Murray was warming up, but yet they haven't decided to bring him in. In fact, he's put back on the top of his tracksuit.
Referee having a word with both players here, Henry Shefflin and Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Shefflin was pushing away the number 3 of Cork. Got just a little bit nasty. Referee decided to take a bit of action and talk to both men. Well, all this while, Kevin Murray continues to warm up on the far side, but no sign of his being introduced into the Cork attack. That's once again Pat O'Neill, a wonderful catch. Timmy McCarthy annoyed with the referee's decision, but it's a free for Kilkenny. Well, Pat O'Neill relishes the tight, physical game, playing really well at centre-half back, shoring up the middle of the Kilkenny defence, taking the free himself. Charlotte Carter trying to get the measure over there with Fergal Ryan, went off the Cork man. Sideline ball to Kilkenny. Well, now Kevin Murray has once again taken off the tracksuit top, and he's about to come into the action, I think, in the next minute or so. Jimmy Barry Murphy having a word with him there, and also Ted Owens. Well, Marty Morrissey is closer to that scene than I am. Let's go back to him.
Yes, indeed. I can tell you now that Kevin Murray will be introduced in a matter of moments. The man that's going to be taken off is the Cork captain, Mark Landers.
Interesting. Brian McAvoy swinging this one and swinging it delightfully over the crossbar. Brian McAvoy gets his first point of the match. A lovely cut, wonderful skill, and the Kilkenny fans are much the happier. Well, this is the man they're just about to bring in now, Kevin Murray. 9 points to 5, and we heard that Mark Landers is the one who's about to be taken off. Cork tried to make the changes, and I think Mark Landers has finally got the message, or is it going to be Mark Landers? Ted Owens, I think, is telling him to come off the field, but he's still there. Mickey O'Connell contesting with Brian McAvoy once again. Wayne Sherlock can't hold it. This is John Power. Again trying to burst his way through, and he was chopped down, and it's going to be a free to Kilkenny. So further pressure on the Cork backs. But Mark Landers has now finally got the message, and the Cork captain has been replaced. It's Mickey O'Connell and it's Timmy McCarthy in midfield. Kevin Murray has gone into the full forward position. So switches and changes been made by the Cork mentors. Henry Shefflin, just inside the 65-metre line. 3 shots taken so far in frees and 3 points. Dropping low this time, beyond John Parr. Here's DJ Carey, always anticipating. And that's a shot by DJ that has gone to the right. Doesn't miss many. This one has gone astray, however. And DJ has yet to score in the game. Kilkenny with 13 goals going into this match from championship matches so far. None today, same as Cork. But Kilkenny have a 4-point lead. That's Peter Barry. One-handed there by Ken O'Shea. Sean O'Halpine. Fergal McCormack went off the stick of Philly Larkin that time. Here's Kevin Murray. An awkward angle by Kevin Murray, but he's put it over the bar with his very first touch. Alan Brown got his point with his first touch in the second half, and now it's the turn of Kevin Murray to look really sharp and decisive in front of goal and make it 9 points now to 6. McGarry's puck out midway through the second half. Here's Brian Corcoran going back. Ben O'Connor over there, that's taken down by Pat O'Neill once again. Man of the match in 92, might have been man of the match again in 93 in that final against Galway. He's a man for the big occasion, Pat O'Neill. Cork with the sideline ball, Mickey O'Connell about to take it. His team manager Jimmy Barry Murphy right alongside him there, encouraging. Shawnee McGraw waits inside. That's a great cut all the way through, batted out by Canis Brennan. But Cork anticipating the first touch there of Fergal McCormack wasn't a good one, however. Kilkenny get it back, that's Willie O'Connor. Good clearance out as far as Dennis Byrne, they retain possession. 1-on-1 there, Dermot O'Sullivan against Charlie Carter. Henry Shefflin racing in, trying to go behind Ryan. Shefflin getting it up onto the stick. Fergal Ryan still after him, it's back to Charlie Carter, and Charlie is content to put it over the bar. He's got a second point. Just for a moment there, I thought there might have been a sufficiently larger gap to have squeezed in a possible goal. Charlie is happy with another point, however. Henry Shefflin managed to get inside Fergal Ryan on this one occasion. Charlie with the hand pass, that was the space, that was the gap, and he was happy to put it over. Joe Dean trying to turn the tide in Cork's favour. Back there Philly Larkin on his knees again as Peter Barry. Into open space to Shawnee McGraw. McGraw with his chance to get a point, and he's done exactly that. Shawnee McGraw's first point of this match. Shawnee now playing out right half forward has made it 10 points to 7. There's still that little gap the whole time, about 3 points between these teams. It was just a 1-point gap at half-time, but Kilkenny have settled a bit better and started to take more of their chances. Sean O'Halpine sliding out of the pitch. Sideline ball to Kilkenny. It'll be Andy Comerford once again to take the sideline cut. We've got two wonderful exponents of the sideline. Well, three of you had Brian McAvoy, who got a lovely one earlier on. Mickey O'Connell and Andy Comerford, really stars in that particular department. Nicely in again towards Brian McAvoy. Fergal Ryan back there. And Wayne Sherlock is there as well. This is Wayne Sherlock. Beyond Alan Brown this time. Peter Barry coming out. Brown trying to tackle, tripped in fact, and it's a free for Kilkenny. Well, certainly Alan Brown there a little bit slow to get off the mark against Peter Barry. Dennis Byrne and the other, that's Ger Henderson of course there. Former centre half back in consultation there with Brian Cody, but I think there's a quiet satisfaction on their faces. This is Pat O'Neill. Going for the score, but he's put it to the right. A missed opportunity then for the centre half back. Still a lot of tension about. So the respective management teams wonder about changes. Cork with two substitutions already in the game, and here's Timmy McCarthy. This is a chance that they need to convert and do. Timmy McCarthy has now got 3 points from play in this match. The Cork fans will be a little bit happier. He's had 4 shots at the target. He's made 3 of them, and it's now, as you see, 10 points to 8. The point that was made by the panel at half-time, I think, is a very good one. If you win by a point, irrespective of what kind of a match it is, it'll be your All-Ireland, and that's what they are both, I'm sure, thinking about at this stage. Classics, I'm afraid, go out the window on such a damp day like today. That's a wonderful catch by Peter Barry. Wonderful skill. Inside to Andy Comerford. Just getting enough latitude now to get away from Alan Brown, who's flagging somewhat as Comerford takes it forward on his left-hand side. That's a tremendous score. An Andy Comerford special. 2 points in the match for Andy. Every time Cork come back and get within a couple of points, Kilkenny have the facility to come back and widen the gap once more. 3 between them. And this was Peter Barry going up here, climbing magnificently ahead of Alan Brown there. Here's Fergal McCormack coming across again. Trying to take it by 3 Kilkenny players. This is Alan Brown once more. First touch not good. Peter Barry sticking to his task. Here's Pat O'Neill. Timmy McCarthy coming in to challenge in a 50-50 situation. It's won by the Kilkenny man. Up towards Ken O'Shea. McCarthy's down on the ground injured all this while. Ken O'Shea hasn't scored in the match to date. Here's on to John Power. A point so far for John. First touch not particularly good. Couldn't get it up on the stick. Scooped out there by John Brown, out as far as Sean O'Halpine. And O'Halpine belting it down. That's in beyond Andy Comerford this time. Timmy McCarthy back on his feet, as you can see. The angle ball inside there. Comes out here towards Ben O'Connor. Trying to get inside. Canis Brennan. Is wrestling him somewhat, holding him back indeed. O'Connor lost the stick, and it's going to be a free into Cork. Quick explanation given by the referee, the jersey being tapped. Joe Dean to take the free. About 11-12 minutes still to play. Joe Dean to put just 2 between them once again. And that's gone over. A second point for Joe Dean. So once again, Cork claw their way back in here. 11 points to 9. James McGarry's puck out. Again, well directed towards Brian McAvoy. Touchdown by Wayne Sherlock of Cork. Dennis Byrne there in that tussle with Mickey O'Connell. Mickey without the stick, pleading his case. Linesman insistent. And Henry Shefflin goes across to take this. Or rather, it's Dennis Byrne who's been entrusted with the responsibility. Cut up well towards Henry Shefflin. In there against Fergal Ryan. That's John Brown again. Good work to get it out as far as Timmy McCarthy. And again, his trademark solo. Down towards Kevin Murray. Breaks instead to Shonny McGrath. McGrath trying to get in through the defence here. Shorten the grip on the stick and he put it over the bar. That's a second point now for the Glen Rovers man. Happier Cork fans up on Hill 16 and various other places in Croke Park, because now the gap is just a solitary point. Kilkenny still leading. It's 11 points to 10 in the 112th All-Ireland Hurling Final, the Guinness All-Ireland Championship. This was Shonny McGrath, and this is where Shonny McGrath picked up his second point of the day. Fergal McCormack at midfield, trying to get that ball away despite the attentions of Brian McAvoy. That's Wayne Sherlock in there. Nobody able to get it up on the stick so far. That's stolen away by John Brown from John Power. Out towards Sean O'Halpine. DJ Carey's there as well. It falls to Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Towards Kevin Murray. Slipping on the ground, however. And Willie O'Connor is back there. Not an effective clearance. Cork get it back and then lose it once again to Canis Brennan. Brennan trying to get enough space on that. That's Kevin Murray once again. Trying to slip by Canis Brennan. Back to Fergal McCormack, partly blocked by Dennis Byrne. Peter Barry rising once again. What a fine player this lad is. The wing back for Kilkenny, giving it to Andy Comerford. Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Here comes Brian Corcoran. And that's a foul on Brian Corcoran. Charlie Carter protesting that he took too many steps, but the referee says no, free out to the Munster champions. First time since 1996 that we've had the Leinster champions against the Munster champions in the All-Ireland final, and Brian Cody, I think, relishing it. But it's a tight battle, anybody's game, one between them. About 9 minutes left. Willie O'Connor swinging at this one, one-handed, holding it up there for Pat O'Neill. Comes out towards Seanie McGrath. Angle getting tighter the whole time. Umpires have a right good look at it, and he's put it over the bar. He's got another one. Seanie McGrath, and they're level for the third time in this All-Ireland hurling final. Cork has fallen behind 3 or 4 points, but now they've pegged the gap once again, and it's Cork 11, Kilkenny 11. Now who's your money on? John Power against Brian Corcoran. Stalemate. Breaks out, however, to Mickey O'Connell. And that is the sliding figure there of Pat O'Neill. Willie O'Connor coming to render assistance, hoping to deny Seanie McGrath. And still Kilkenny trying to clear that ball out sufficiently far away from their own goal area. They've seen their lead whittled away. And here's DJ Carey. Hasn't scored in the match. Still DJ just doing enough to block it and get it forward to Henry Shefflin. This time trying to make scores for others. Shefflin, strong fellow, blocked down here. Denied by Fergal Ryan. What a match he's played. It comes out here brilliantly. And that's well away from the danger there by Wayne Sherlock. Out to Joe Dean. Into space here towards Kevin Murray. In fact, the player who gets the final shot on that one is Alan Brown, and it's gone wide in any case. Part of the very strong Blackrock contingent in this Cork team. They look at the skies, they wonder who's going to win this. Kilkenny, with 25 All-Ireland wins, thinking about making a change. It looks to be Niall Maloney who's about to come in. And they're also preparing another player over there. We'll probably get news of that in just a moment. Here's Timmy McCarthy. Andy Comerford chases after him. The young man from North Cork to Joe Dean. Running in there to the challenge of Peter Barry. Hand pass to Ben O'Connor. Looking for enough room. Gets enough room, gets enough accuracy on it as well, and Cork take the lead through Ben O'Connor, his first point of the match. Kilkenny think about changes. They've now fallen into arrears. Niall Maloney appears to be the one who is coming on in place of Charlie Carter, I believe. Let's go for some more news to Marty Morrissey.
PJ Delaney is after coming on for John Power. Dramatic changes, in fact. And Niall Maloney is going to be introduced for Charlie Carter, as Kilkenny are fully aware now that the game is going against them.
6 minutes to go. It's anybody's match. But Kilkenny have seen that lead that they had amassed, eaten into it, and now overtaken by Cork. The hand pass by Wayne Sherlock, that's batted away superbly there by Pat O'Neill. Comes out as far as Brian McAvoy. Fergal McCormack still running, still chasing. McAvoy still dominating. Inside there it goes towards the substitute. PJ Delaney trying to get enough room inside towards DJ. DJ Carey trying to run it into the goal. It was very close indeed, but it's gone wide. Hard to imagine that DJ has failed to score this afternoon, but here he was coming through. It took a lot of steps. And in the end it was blocked down in there, and the final chance going into the side netting. 10 wides now, sorry, 17 wides I should say now for Kilkenny. And Fergal McCormack has been fouled as he was going through by Dennis Byrne. Free to Cork. So confirmation of the changes and the switch has been made by Kilkenny. Peter Delaney has gone into full forward, by the way. Niall Maloney is top of the right. And you heard that the players take it off John Power and Charlie Carter. Joe Dean about to hit the free. He's 50 metres out. This time he takes great care and hits it with great accuracy. And Joe Dean has put it over the bar. 3 points now by Joe Dean. The last two coming from frees. And the Cork fans now have seen their side get into a lead of 2 points. and inside the last 5 minutes of the match. A Kilkenny response provided here by Dennis Byrne, partly blocked down by Brian Corcoran. Trying to make his clearance, still pressurised there by the Kilkenny captain. The clearance towards Seanie McGrath, swept back here by Michael Kavanagh. Kavanagh now operating at left half back as he's done for the entire second half. That runs on there towards Niall Maloney. Kilkenny looking for a goal here, and Maloney is fouled as he's going through by John Brown. John O'Gahal also being spoken to, and it's going to be a free into Kilkenny. Henry Shefflin about to take it. DJ Carey had a quiet word with him. Now, will he think about a goal here, or will he just put it over the bar and put 2 points between the teams once again? I guess he'll do the latter. He hits it high up into the new Canal End stand, and Henry Shefflin has got 5 points in this match, and it's Cork 13, Kilkenny 12. A dramatic second half here. Kilkenny, first of all, leading and leading well, then Cork fighting back gamely. Donald O'Cusack. Again, Cork will try to win their own puck out here once again. It falls down towards Seanie McGrath, runs in towards Kevin Murray there. That half-back line standing firm. Andrew Comerford is back there around that half-back line. Up towards Henry Shefflin, just got a stick on it. But here's Brian Corcoran. Cork without a win in the All-Ireland Championship since 1990, the year of their double. And Kilkenny trying to prevent defeat in the final for the second year in a row. Wayne Sherlock with the clearance, way down towards Kevin Murray and Joe Dean. Up towards Dennis Byrne. Stepping away from Dean. Here's PJ Delaney. Timmy McCarthy going back. Next it's Mickey O'Connell for Cork, the midfielder. Fergal McCormack. Lobbed in there and beyond this time the attentions of the Cork inside forward. Lots and lots of tension about. Getting quite dark here in Croke Park right now. That's Niall Maloney. Here's Brian Corcoran once again. Stop this time. Still it reaches a Cork man. And that Cork man is Ben O'Connor. A fine solo run by Ben O'Connor. Dennis Byrne going back, tracking him the whole time and doing enough to put him off, and he's put it wide. It's still 13-12. Inside the last minute, as you can see, is Jimmy Barry Murphy about to land Cork their first All-Ireland for 9 years. It's there for the taking still, however, but Cork have stormed into this in the second half. A half and a match indeed where DJ Carey, the great Kilkenny star, failed to score. Here's Dennis Byrne. Back there is Alan Brown again, and that time the referee says play on, no foul. Joe Dean outside towards Fergal McCormack, trying to slip inside Peter Barry. Still going forward, McCormack, and his shot has gone to the right. Kilkenny won't delay pucking this one out. The 70 minutes are up. The puck out by McGarry. Runs through towards DJ Carey, but strong defence once again by Cork. It's been the strongest part of their team all season. Now it's at the discretion of the referee how much time he's going to allow on. Here's Dennis Byrne. Still only a point in it. Kilkenny looking for a chance, but the referee has whistled. It's all over, and Cork are the All-Ireland hurling champions for 1999. There was only a point in it. Delight for Ben O'Connor, Fergal McCormack. The subs come in to join them as well. A day of triumph for Jimmy Barry Murphy, one of the great heroes in Cork sport, and now as coach after 4 years. They've got it absolutely right. Youth was given its head. They came in, they took the chance. The substitutions were vital, and Jimmy Barry Murphy, as always during his playing career, is a winner. Cork have taken the title. Kilkenny will, I'm sure, feel bitterly disappointed. They had so many wides in the game. A total for Cork of 17 wide, and for Kilkenny 17 as well. But there were so many chances, a nervous opening to the game. Cork made 34 scoring chances, Kilkenny made 31. A day when DJ Carey failed to score for Kilkenny. And there he is, congratulating Fergal McCormack. And a change this year, of course. The fans have to stay off the pitch. And let's go back down to the sideline and to Marty Morrissey.
Indeed, just joining me now is John Crowley, the Cork selector, and Shawnee McGrath. Great victory, John.
We know all year that this team had character, but in fairness today, Kilkenny put it up to us as we knew they would. And we came in as underdogs, and they showed the character in the last 10 minutes again today. They fought tooth and nail. The backs are unbelievable. They played great. They won great possession. And in fairness to the forwards, they came good in the end, you know.
Certainly, it was in the last 10 minutes they finally opened it up.
It was, because like it was always going to come down to that, Matt. It was a ding-dong battle. We said before the game whoever's going to win this will need a point or two in it, and it proved that way in the end.
Well, one of the players that helped to open it up was right beside you, Shawnee McGrath. Congratulations.
Great, Matthew. Thanks very much. This is what we've been waiting a long time for this. Jimmy came on board.
As John Crowley said, you really showed your character, because you were down a couple of points, you stayed with it.
So I think Cork before probably would have, 4 points down might have won, but as Johnny said, there is a great character in the team. We've a great commandership, and it's great for Cork. Delighted.
You've been criticised that you didn't score goals, but points do win matches.
Many goals, we're all right. Plenty of points.
Need them today, Matt.
Well done, congratulations.
Well, while Marty was having his interviews over there, the Guinness truck and platform has been brought onto the pitch. The red carpet is already after being laid out here, but Jimmy Barry Murphy still enjoying this moment. Brian Barrett there, the chairman of the Cork County Board, congratulating Jimmy. Thorough gentlemen, both coaches, absolutely thorough about everything they did. Gentlemen both. Disappointment for Brian Cody. But the winners today, Cork, by the narrowest possible margin. So Cork fans up there celebrate in the rain. It's been a long time coming, and now the fans will be thinking about the double. Some of the Kilkenny players will have a chance of a medal next weekend. That's the under-21 final against Galway. Let's go back down to Marty once again.
Thank you, Chair. Brian Corcoran, great game, great performance.
Yeah, Marty, great day for Cork. We can't believe it. It wasn't looking great for us in the second half, but in fairness, our forwards got going and midfield took over. And, we finished the strongest, thanks for the guy. But in fairness to Kilkenny, they're a great team, and they really put up to us, and, they were very unlucky.
You stuck to your task quite admirably in the defence.
Well, we knew that they had a great forward line, very dangerous. So if we didn't mark them tightly, they could have run us ragged. But nobody gave us a chance. We felt confident coming up because the papers had written us off. So it's brilliant.
Well done. Part one of the double. Joining me as well is Donald Cusick. I'm sure there are bonfires already. If you could light bonfires in this rain in Clyde.
Unbelievable. It's just hard to explain now. I suppose there's so much pressure on everyone going into the game now. It's a great feeling that we're after winning the All-Ireland. I remember leaving Clyde yesterday and there must have been hundreds of people on the streets waving good luck to me now. So to the Clyde people, take a look at that.
Well done.
Ahari Conulacha, Drochaimshire and Shaw, Huncliffe, Bra Sportjule Hortun and Yov, Corardachas, Le Kilkenny, Agus Beagas, Le Corky, Agus Kilkenny Arain. Nearve Law, Kilkenny and Yov, Marta, Coran Liam McCarthy, Igdolarash, Don Hokto, Hueris Fe, Corky. Bovalum, Beagas Agaval, Le Colok Guinness, Agus Linear Stotche, Ta Brian Duffy, Nui Kappa, Marvanistor Storha, Guinness Aaron, Goramila Mahagid Guinness, Teresh Coig Vlena, Eg Oriacht, Amanayacht, Agus Crave Heran. Beagas Hava, Lishne Himrori, Ila, Jimel, it's on Grave Comort, the Semlena. Agus Darnoi, Beagas Specialta, Le Multor and Leonyov, Pat O'Connor, Namair Lena, Namair Coyle. Marshen Akharja, Donna Hillimalia, Harshach na Milisha is Coachwar Ahish Gumsa Coron Liam McCarthy the Crave Ila Aaron Jernach on Kate Shaw Redek Sarechani Avrona Erchapten Corky Mark Landers.
So Joe McDonough in this change with tradition out of the middle of the field, presenting the Liam McCarthy Cup to Mark Landers. Cork began the decade as champions, they finish as champions, and they've won it for the 28th time.
Welcome back to Leeside, Liam McCarthy. We've missed you a lot.
This is one of the great speech makers, I can tell you, Mark Landers. It could be here for about an hour.
An Conchar Glaka, her son and Ferret Killia, Imokili, August Torkeg. It is indeed a great honour for me to captain this young, victorious team on the last championship of the millennium. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Eastside Digifone, Frank Murphy, the County Board, their help during the week, our four selectors, Fred Sheedy, Johnny Crowley, Tom Cashman. Johnny, I'd like to thank our backroom staff, Dr. Con Murphy, and Masood John Allen, our team trainer, Teddy Owens. I'd like to dispel the notions that Cork can't play in the rain. But most of all, ladies and gentlemen, we were here in 1982. We were also here in 1983, captained by one man. He didn't have the honour of lifting Lee McCarthy, but he did the next best thing. He brought a team back to win it. Better known as JBM. We know him as Jimmy Barry Murphy. My last word to the supporters. Thank you for travelling. Thank you for making the effort to get the tickets. For you watching in America, Australia, England, and for you, the people at home that can't be here with us today, we're going to see you back in Patrick Street tomorrow night. Thank you very much.
They'll have enjoyed that in the Fado pub over in Chicago, where there are lots of Cork people watching this afternoon.
Without further ado, I'd like to thank Kilkenny. Great sportsmen! 3 cheers! Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Thank you!
Absolutely wonderful scene here, and this a new format, and now the team will begin a lap of honour very shortly, but it's commiserations to Kilkenny and our congratulations to the men of Cork. So let's go
John O'Halpine, part one of the double is done for you.
I'm actually don't mind talking about the double. I'll enjoy the hurling and I'll enjoy tonight for what it's worth, but it's a long way now to achieving a double or whatever. Me, they're going to be very hard, but I'm not going to be talking about football. This is a hurling and I'm going to enjoy the hurling.
And it was a wonderful performance in very difficult conditions, a great fight back.
I mean, this is it. Like, admit about Cork not playing in the rain, admit about Cork, they can't beat Kilkenny. Well, the Ghost has led the rest today and we've done that and we're all delighted, Martin.
Wonderful performance from the defence in particular.
Well, we were under pressure like always, and the defence had to be good like against the Kilkenny forwards, and we gave up.
Well done, Sean.
Well, when have you seen a lap of honour like this in Croke Park before? It's a break with tradition, as I say, but that's the way it's going to be in the future. Cork celebrate.
Where we sport in and play, it's the green leafy shade on the banks of my home.
going to get some lash, I say, from points in the Burlington Hotel and all down to Blackrock and Cork, and points east and west after that as well tonight. A brilliant victory by Cork, wholehearted display in that second half and fully deserving of their All-Ireland title. We are not finished with this All-Ireland final yet. We do have a commercial break to come, but after that we have analysis of the game. We have more people for you to talk to, and we're going to be visiting Victoria's County, so please do stay with us for all of that.
The new Furniture Centre Cork Super Sale continues with over 400...
The end, as indeed did the wides, just those 265s. And in this year's All-Ireland final, and given the weather conditions that were down there, as I said in the first half, no bookings and no sendings off. A very clean and fair game of hurling. Well, there's JBM and Mark Landers down at Hill 16 with the Cork supporters down there. What a wonderful scene that is. And as Mark said in his own speech, Jimmy Barry Murphy was here as a player himself against Kilkenny, and he knew what it was like to suffer defeat on those occasions, and he has done a wonderful job over the last 4 years in the job in Cork, where he has taken this team from skinnings by other counties, and Clare included, in the Munster Championship, to victory in Munster, and now the All-Ireland title. Okay, then let's head down to Cork and see what the atmosphere is like down there. We're going to the Blackrock Hurling Club, which of course has contributed so many of the team here today. Fergal Ryan and John Brown, the corners, Alan Brown as well, of course. Wayne Sherlock also in the defence. Not playing today, but he's mucking it in with the crowd down there, is Pascal Sheehy. Let's join him.
Good evening, Michael, and if where you are at the moment is heaven, well, I'd certainly regard that as heaven. Where we are at the moment is the Blackrock Hurling and Football Club in Cork, and I would regard this as purgatory, because the fans who are with me here at the moment, they've absolutely been to hell and back over the past 70 minutes or more. And as you say, the Blackrock Club contributed 4 of the players to today's final, 3 in the back line and 1 Alan Brown, who came on as sub. And as well as that, let's not forget Tom Cashman, the selector on the club. Now, the party begins here in earnest right now, but it will really begin tonight about 8:10, when the first of the fans arrive back from Dublin on the trains. And of course, the real party will begin tomorrow night when the team arrive back in Kent Station for a parade through Cork City on an open-top bus, and that will finish at Dawn Square for the mother and father of all parties in Dawn Square in Cork. And they're celebrating, you're talking about the double, well, they're celebrating on the treble and 4 times here because of the contribution they made to this afternoon, but the party is really going to start here shortly.
Well, I'm sure the party has started all over Cork at the moment, and the party is here at Croke Park as well. These players have just won themselves. The All-Ireland title is just beginning to sink in. And Brian Corcoran just to the right of your screen going off there. Cyril Farrell, what a fantastic day it's been for a player like this. A list of medals against his name here on the programme, but 1 medal not there.
Yeah, he deserves it. Like, he's around a long time. He's still a young man, but he's around a long time. And for Jim Barry Murphy, he's 4 years in the job. Tom Cashman, all these lads, you know, they've been around and they've gone through it. The Cork backs all through were immaculate. They were very much on top of the Kilkenny forwards. Even if Kilkenny get a few points, Cork backs didn't let them go away, and eventually the Cork forwards started to open up. They had to be on Brown and Murray, started to open up and brought McCarthy to midfield, and all of a sudden Kilkenny were caught for pace. But like, it was anyone's game up to date. As a matter of fact, you've been nearly called, you know, maybe to be kind of a draw with what was going on. But the backs were just immaculate all through. Here you see Dennis Byrne here on this one.
Yeah, Michael Duigan, Kilkenny were going well at the beginning of the second half. Now this is keeping them 3 points up here.
Dennis Byrne, who had a brilliant game, I think, throughout. The best game he had all year. But you see he picked up a ball there under pressure, took it on, and then into the wind from 50, 60 yards out. Slips over a great point, and Dennis had a great game today.
Cork came back after that, Cyril. They got a couple of points on the board. Then Kilkenny stretched it again. The next one we're going to see a brilliant point by Andy Cumber, but this put them 3 points up again. And you have to say they were looking good then.
They were looking good up to the last 7 or 8 minutes, but like Andy Comfort had a great game. He got a slight injury in the second half, but here again he gets a little hand pass on. He's going to cut down the middle, which he's very good at, and goes over to his favourite side here on the left, and a great ball. Again, edging them to 2 or 3 points up the whole time, and you would have the feeling that Cork got a goal, but eventually the Cork forwards started getting space, and once they got the space, scores started to come.
Even in the wet conditions, players like Joe Dean, Shawnee McGrath were making their contribution. Michael, Shawnee McGrath's point, this one we're going to look at here, vital, this Druid level.
Yeah, Shawnee McGrath had a brilliant second half. He scored 3 late points that probably decided the game, and you see him here, you know, has a little look up, very tight angle, and slips over a beautiful point, and I think Shawnee McGrath, as much as anybody, especially in the last 15-20 minutes when the game opened up, Shawnee got 3 points in play, and on a day like today 3 points is a great contribution, and Timmy McCarthy scored 3 points in play as well, and that was the difference. Kilkenny had nobody to get those couple of scores today. They were struggling for every score, but that's a credit to the Cork backs, who were fantastic, and you know, the Kilkenny backs were under a lot of pressure, played very well for a long time, but eventually I suppose they had to crack, and Shawnee McGrath was the main man there in the second half.
Michael, I'm sure that you would have a word of commiseration to say to your great rivals in Leinster, Kilkenny. You beat them last year. You knew what it was like to go and shake the hands of a losing player, and they promised themselves they wouldn't have that experience again today. It'd be crushing.
Yeah, it must be terrible. You know, we were devastated after the semi-final against Cork, but I suppose we had won last year. You know, we'd won in '94, but a lot of these Kilkenny players wouldn't have won in All-Ireland, and we lost in '95 to Clare. Very, very hard to take, but at least we had won in '94, as I said earlier. And you know, to lose 2 All-Irelands in a row, it must absolutely be heartbreaking. And you know, the lads will be looking back to '92 and '93 when they won All-Irelands, but that's a long time ago now, and the majority of them wouldn't have won any All-Ireland at all. So you know, it's going to be very, very hard for them to come back. But you know, they seem to be producing all the underage hurlers in Leinster over the last 9 or 10 years. So you know, they should have the stuff to do it, but time will tell.
Well, gentlemen, as we speak here, the scene behind us is almost eerie. You can see it over my shoulder there. Croke Park is emptied very quickly because of the fact, of course, that the fans weren't on the field. But look how dark it is behind me there. It actually looks brighter on your television screens. We could actually do with floodlights here for the last 5 minutes of this year's All-Ireland final. It's been that kind of day. It's overcast, dark and eerie, but certainly nothing dark or overcast about the Cork performance in that second half, Cyril.
No, it was like once it opened up, they were going to come into it. They're only a point on at half-time, and they had the breeze. And I'd say they'd be quite happy at half-time. And I was saying at half-time, switching a bit to Cork, because I expected Alan Brown to come, which he did. Came on, got a great score, threw his weight around a bit. Murray came on, got a great score. They had him all year, and Jim Barry Murphy felt all year that rather than picking them, he seemed to have a stronger team by leaving them off and bringing them on. But like Kilkenny Fairview was kept the 2 or 3 points up the whole way. But here down to Michael, as the game was going on, the last 10 minutes you could see Cork coming in ways. Tim McCarthy moved to midfield, his legs started carrying through, Sean McGrath started popping over a few, Ben O'Connor started getting a few, Joe Dean, like they weren't going to miss when they got them. Kilkenny missed 1 or 2 vital frees, and when Kilkenny look on the tape and they won't want to look for a good while, they'll feel that in the first half, but a lot of wides that weren't under pressure, put them wide, and that would have given them the 4 or 5. They needed to be 4 or 5 up at half-time to be really kind of in the driving seat. 1 point wasn't really enough. It's tough on them. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board. But like Brian Cody's only his first year in, to be great to win in the first year in, but the players will feel down now. But 1 win in Leinster puts them right back into the quarter-final. And Michael, going on to the weather, I think the GA are making a mistake. They're going into September, 2nd Sunday. I know you could get a bad Sunday in August or a first Sunday in September. I think they should push the championship into August, because you're dicing with the weather. And here today, to be fair to both teams, it was dark, it was pouring rain, and it wasn't going to make for a classic as such. Maybe they should look at the calendar and try to push it back into August rather than deeper into September.
Well, you're standing a far better chance, obviously, as you said yourself, getting a fine day in August, and maybe you should begin to move into water now. Michael Duignan, the warning signs were there from Kilkenny, from your game against Cork, because Offaly that day did nothing wrong. You played so well, you stormed through the game, and it was the way they finished that was the difference.
Yeah, I went for Kilkenny before the game, on the best of the more experience in an All-Ireland final, but after we played Cork and talking to the Offaly players, we were just saying that probably over all the years, it's the one time that we played really to the top of our game and we're beaten. Generally speaking, when we're beaten, we didn't play well and we didn't perform, and we were a bit, we wouldn't be as disappointed. But this year we played absolutely as good as we could against Cork, and I suppose the writing was on the wall there the way they finished that day. Like, they scored the last 5 points of the game, and again today, see, they're young, and if they can stay in the game, they have the legs at the end, and Timmy McCarthy and Joe Dean and Ben O'Connor and Seanie McGrath in the last 15 minutes, like, they were outstripping everybody for pace. And even see DJ now, he one time he got a ball near the end and there was 3 or 4 of them around him. They were hunting in packs, and that's the type of team they are, and they're going to be around for a few years, and anyone that beats them is going to earn their victory.
When would you see a situation where DJ Carey hasn't scored in the match so far? John Power taken off?
Yeah, well, there'll be a big debate in Kilkenny about John Power. Like, he was taking off maybe out of steam, and they were trying everything, but he was still causing a lot of trouble. Like, Brian Corcoran, is a fantastic, probably the best centre back in the game this year by far, Brian Corcoran. And Power wasn't doing that bad of a job. He was cutting through and he was getting fouled. And okay, he mightn't be playing flashy stuff, but it wasn't much room for flashy stuff out there. Yeah. They'll question themselves. They were trying to bring on fresh legs, I suppose. Looking down here, it's very easy. We thought the half back line, were kind of under pressure at times, especially with the fast puck outs. Cork had a lot of work done the puck outs, and they finished very, very fresh. And they will be around, but 1 win for Kilkenny is going to put them back in. They'll be hurling all the year again next year. They'll feel down and out, but it's a tough way to lose 2 in a row. But there'll be bonfires in Cork tonight, and they have a young team. Most of them are only around 22, 23. They're going to be there for a long time, but yet they'll be out to play for again next year.
Yeah, I was mentioning, Cyril, earlier on in the programme, I don't know if you were with us in the early stages of our coverage early this afternoon, the fact that I was talking to Eddie Kerr during the week, and his fear was that this Cork team were going to come, as Michael Duignan said, be around for a few years. He was just hoping it wasn't going to be this year, but his worst fears were realised organised, I'm afraid.
Well, that's the way always, like, you're hoping that your county isn't going to get caught in it. And I think it's a thing you have to say. We saw the programme there, the people coming in, thousands come down the road. Cork and Kilkenny, Tip and Galway people, all mingling together, all dancing together. They're going to be all dancing in the rain now together and probably drinking together. But that's a thing in the GA that you have, that you do not get in other sports. They will all go, there won't be any hassle among them or anything. Like, even no matter what's on the pitch, it's left on the pitch as such.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's a great thing that we have in the GA games, you know, which we have at the moment, and that's why it's so popular that, you know, we can mix around, and, you know, you'll probably find that they'll be mixing tonight in both hotels.
Well, I take your point, Cyril, but I'm sure that Brian Cody won't be doing too much dancing tonight. I'm sure he's a disappointed man. He's talking now to Marty Morrissey.
Thank you, Michael. I'm very disappointed, obviously. Brian Cody, commiserations, first of all. The last 10 minutes, crucial.
Yeah, they were, Marty. I suppose we sneaked a bit of a lead out of the second half and looked like we possibly could win the game, but Cork came back at us like they did against Offaly again in the semi-final, and they deserved a victory.
What exactly, I know it's very difficult to answer this at this precise moment, but just initially, what do you think went wrong in those couple of minutes?
I can't say what went wrong in those 2 minutes. I mean, the game wasn't won or lost, I suppose, overall in those 10 minutes. And probably we had chances to score right through the game from a very early stage in the game. We had, I suppose, a fair few wides. But having said that, like, you know, that's not pointing the finger at anybody. We took on Cork, Cork took on us. There's only one winner at the end of the day. Cork won the game, so the argument is over about it.
Obviously, bitter disappointment inside, I'm sure tears, but this is a very young side. I know you have a lot of experienced players as well, but I'm sure you're going to bounce back.
Yeah, but that's no consolation, Mark. No. I mean, losing the All-Ireland final 2 years in a row, it's devastation all around the Kilkenny camp, and, you know, young players can bounce back. All the players can't bounce back. Young or old, you know, guarantees of next year, the year after that, when you get a chance to win the All-Ireland final, you want to take it. Unfortunately, or else we've lost again today, and it's just absolutely devastating.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Brian Cody, and thanks for all the enjoyment during the year.
Yeah, well, as I said, Cyril Farrell, there wouldn't be too much dancing on Brian Cody tonight, and there's very little consolation in losing 2 All-Ireland finals.
Yeah, the winner takes it all. He took it on the chin, like, you know, on the day, like, Cork got more scores, 13-12, and, like, you know, they won and they deserve to win. They have put in a better apprenticeship. Like, Jim Barry Murphy's there 4 years. Like, Brian could have come in first year, and of course he wants to win. And of course they will be disappointed. But, like, the winter, there's no hurry now during the winter, such the league doesn't start until next in the February, March. So, like, they'll regroup again, like, and they'll be just as hard. They're never an easy team to beat. Cork, like, as Eddie Clare will be saying, Cork will be a force. There's no doubt about that. And they'll be looking at the first round draw in the Championship of Munster. That's really the key, because really the big pressure game for Cork this year, and like when they look back in the year, they'll admit it, was the Waterford game. Not today or not the Munster final or the semi-final. It was the first game. Once they won that, they knew they were going to be hurling for the summer. And like Michael here now, they were very disappointed with Offaly, but like if they win the first round of Leinster next year, they're hurling for the summer again, and that's what it's all about.
It certainly is. I mean, for Cork this year, it has been such, Michael, it's such a tough campaign, coming through it in tough games, including yourselves as the All-Ireland champions.
Yeah, I think they've won All-Ireland in style. You know, they've beaten Waterford, Clare, Offaly and Kilkenny, like, and I suppose Offaly and Clare have been very strong over the last 4 or 5 years, along with, say, Wexford came through and won their All-Ireland, but Offaly and Clare have been at the top right throughout the 90s now, and for Cork to come through and beat both those teams in the 1 year, and then to beat Kilkenny, who've been traditional great rivals of theirs, that's a great achievement. They'll take a lot of pleasure. You know, it's nice to win Ireland and beat good teams along the way, and there's nobody there that they didn't beat. You know, Galway were, I suppose, you know, the other strong team, they were gone out of it, but outside of that, they've beaten everybody this year, and you know, they're very young and they're going to take beating. But having said that, Clare aren't gone yet, and I think they've been written off maybe a bit soon. They'll get a few lads off the under-21 team this year, and they'll be there next year. Tipperary are building with good young teams, and then like in Leinster, Wexford and Offaly and Kilkenny aren't going to go away, and Galway then are coming through Monday minor today, and that'll give them a great lift. So, you know, I think, you know, going into the new millennium, I think hurling is looking very strong, and it's more attractive than ever.
It certainly is. Every year brings a new challenge, of course. I have to ask you about Offaly and players like yourself and so forth. It's a few weeks now since you were out. I'll just interrupt you actually because we have Jimmy Barry Murphy, the winning manager, so let's go to him straight away.
Jimmy, congratulations. Wonderful performance in the last 10 minutes in particular.
Yeah, in fairness, we finished very strong, I must say. I thought when we were 4 points down, Kilkenny really put it up to us, but in fairness, I kept in the back of my head in all our games this year, we have finished fairly strongly, and lucky enough just held on in the end.
The fitness really proved in the final analysis.
Yeah, I suppose we were a young team, and in fairness, when we ran at the Kilkenny defence in the second half, it certainly seemed to pose them problems, and that was what we tried to get them to do at half-time, to attack more rather than shooting from out the field. And the conditions were very, very bad. It was hard to score from out the field anyway, so we just tried to get them to run at Kilkenny a bit more and try and either earn a free or create a decent chance of a shot at goal.
I said it to Shawny McGrath already about the Cork team, that they weren't scoring goals, but it does prove that points do win matches.
Well, it did today, certainly. I mean, Kilkenny, I suppose, had more clear-cut goal chances than us, and we got probably lucky once or twice in the second half. But our backs, in fairness, played very, very well and didn't concede many frees, and that was a key factor, I think.
You must have been worried, Jimmy, with 10 minutes to go when Kilkenny seemed to be so dominant.
Yeah, we were in trouble in a number of positions at that stage, but I think bringing Timmy McCarthy to midfield certainly was a great help to us. I think the introduction of Alan Brown and Kevin Murray also gave our attack a bit of impetus, and I also thought Ben O'Connor, when he came out to the half-hour line, finished very, very strong. So, you know, some days those switches work for you. There's a lot of luck in it, and today a few of them worked for us.
For Jimmy Barry Murphy, on a personal note, having given so much time over the last couple of years, this must be as good, perhaps, maybe, of winning an All-Ireland medal on the field?
Well, it feels even better now, I can assure you, but I mean, it's all relative to what you've gone through. We've had a bad couple of years when I started off coaching the team, but, you know, a lot of good work has been done under 21 level by Bertie Murphy and his colleagues, and a lot of the players have come through from that team, and in fairness, they're blossoming on the senior stage now.
Can I bring you back, just very briefly, back to the first round against Waterford? You were criticised for picking a very young side. These players are very devoted to you. They've proved it.
Well, I think we played Clare in a challenge match a couple of weeks before our first round game, and I think even Gerlach Nan said afterwards to me after he was very surprised we were playing very, very well. And I thought Waterford game was a key game for us because, you know, that opened the door for the whole year for us. Yeah. And we really went for it in that game and built up for that game as if it was an All-Ireland final. But we knew the players that we were picking were going well in training and had played well in the course of the 21 campaign, so I wasn't overly concerned about that, but there was some concern locally, certainly, about the team we picked.
Well done, and congratulations, Jimmy Barry Murphy and Cork.
Thanks, Marty.
Yeah, the winning manager, Jimmy Barry Murphy there. And on that note, and on Jimmy Barry's interview, that's where we're going to wrap from Croke Park for the moment. But of course, coming up later on tonight, we have the Sunday game where we have further analysis and coverage of the big match itself. And this is the specially commissioned Waterford Crystal Trophy that goes to our man of the match winner. That's, I suppose, the one other major item to be decided from this year's All-Ireland final. That trophy is the Sunday game tonight. RTE's man of the match award from this year's All-Ireland hurling final. And Pete Finnerty, you have the task and the honour of naming this year's winner.
Well, there were many contenders. Peter Barry for Kilkenny, Pat O'Neill, Andy Comerford, Timmy McCarthy had a great game. Jim O'Sullivan, a full-back, I thought was a power strength. But on a day which was dominated by defenders, I think there was no bigger defender than the man himself, Brian Corcoran. Brian is a magnificent hurler, and it's incredible to believe that he hasn't won an All-Ireland medal until today. He's 27 years of age. He has done everything positive in the game, and the amount of magnificent performance he has given in times when Cork hurling wasn't going that well, it's incredible. I'm delighted for Brian that he has got the All-Ireland medal, considering that in the days when he backed in football this year, he could win the football as well. He'd be very disappointed if he didn't get the medal today. He was a tower strength throughout. Here we see him bursting out of defence. He did this time and time again today. And there was a period in the game when Kilkenny seemed that they were going to dominate, and he was the man that stopped them.
There you go.
Thank you very much once again, ladies and gentlemen. We just want to have a quick word with Brian on this great day for him. Now, Brian, as well as the lovely Waterford Crystal, you've also got his and her watches, and that's not bad considering you were married this year. And I want to introduce you to Michael Whelan, who is the sponsorship manager of Guinness, and he's got a nice little present for you. Tickets in the corporate box, but accommodation as well, I think, is included. It's for the football final. It's very appropriate, obviously, considering who's going to be playing in that final, and now you won't have to ring up Frank Murphy looking for more tickets. A wonderful occasion for you, and this caps a fabulous season, doesn't it? I mean, it makes up for the disappointment, losing two finals, 92 and 93.
Definitely, Ger. There were a few years when we were wondering if this day would ever come, but in hindsight, you know, the 7 years seem short at this stage, and you know, it's brilliant, and can't explain how I'm actually feeling at the moment. It's sort of hard to believe it, and I don't think it'll sink in until maybe tomorrow morning.
Well, you're part of a very young team, and yet you're only 26.
That's right. You know, people are saying I'm the veteran and the old man. I think that's more to do with the lack of hair rather than my actual age. Thankfully, I'm not the oldest on the team. So I still...
We won't say who is. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the match, the RT Sports man of the match for the hurling final, Brian Corcoran.
Yes, and we say once again congratulations to Brian today. There simply was no doubt about it. And that's where we must wrap up our coverage of the 1999 All-Ireland hurling final. Now, the football final in 2 weeks' time, of course, but in the meantime, we have another big game coming up next Sunday It's the All-Ireland Under-21 hurling final, a chance for some consolation for Kilkenny, a chance for Galway to pick up a second All-Ireland hurling title in the space of 7 days. We're on the air at 3 o'clock. Well, it's the end then of the programme. It's also the last Sunday game of the century in terms of coverage of the All-Ireland hurling finals. The Sunday game series began some 21 years ago, and my goodness, what a 21 years it's been. The era has ended as it began with Cork in possession of the Liam McCarthy Cup, and once again we say congratulations to the Cork players and their selectors, and I have no doubt you'll continue to have a great night down at that victory banquet. But let's not also forget that the big guns were joined in the history books by new emerging forces in the game of hurling. For many counties, the hurling fields of Ireland turned